And howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Albion Courts of Everest, where the music is different than I had envisioned.
It's the calmest I've ever been heading into a big battle.
I'm Joe Treff, I'm your DM. I'm with my friends, Vincent, Tina, we have Kara, we have Hannah, we have Alana, we have no Matt today. I forgot to change the music right as I was coming in. And so, here, I'll change that back to something more akin to what you were listening to. We're going to play D&D tonight. Before we do, a couple quick announcements. First of all, that threw me all the way off. We played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign, last night. That was a conclusion to the Hardcore Henry arc. There was a element of looting that occurred. There was some drift travel. We returned to the Mosaic Vivarium in a slightly different state than we found it. You can see that when it re-airs on our YouTube at Elbron RPG at noon on Sunday, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also at Elbron RPG on Instagram, so you can see the different things that are on our table when we post closer pictures, like this encounter map. Oh, look at all the rings! It's like a lemon lime Fruit Loop explosion in there. Not a sponsor. You can see it in much greater detail at Elbron RPG on Instagram when those photos go up, if people take them. Over the course of the week.
My phone is in my car, probably.
Okay. You and Olive. Olive sometimes just goes, oh, I think I might have left it in the thrift store. And then we'll just sit and play a full session and then maybe call to see about it later. Anyways.
We don't get it either. Don't ask.
Yeah. Mosaic Team 5. Nope. September, speaking of Olive, we are going to be having a one-shot that we are playing and that you will see sometime in the future called Ace of Roses. It is a reality show where some contestants form teams to tackle challenges on a tropical island. It is romantic. It's also Starfinder, and so that's going to be very interesting to see. We are going to be having in December a one-shot that is following up on some events from the first campaign called Axe, Wolf, and Woe that features Brenna from Campaign 1, Hannah's character, and a couple of other familiar faces, perhaps, that is going to be in December. And then in January, we have Fallout Black Heart of Texas, which is a title that I should know better since I wrote it, but it is a original 5-part adventure that is set in Texas in the Fallout universe, shortly after the events of Fallout 4. And it is it's going to be a lot of fun to play. It has a lot to do with Poseidon Energy and West Tech and things that are happening out towards Texas. But that is going to be in January. In October, which comes before all of that, I just decided earlier today that we are going to be having a 2-part Humblewood adventure that is going to be airing. That is October 24th and 25th, I want to say.
Yes. And
those are going to be games that were both run by Hannah about a month ago now, maybe?
Yeah. It's the same. It's all one 2-shot. Yeah.
Yeah, all one 2-shot, but you can see both parts of that Thursday, Friday, when we will actually all be away at Ari's wedding. And so while we're doing that, you can enjoy this this unbelievable Humblewood adventure. It's a lot of fun. It's super cute. There's incredible maps, and you can see that when it airs on YouTube at Elbron RPG in October. And with that is all the announcements that I have. It's a lot of them. And it's time for Courts of Everest.
The Forest of Lava.
Wandering Hearts.
Yes.
I keep messing up my music, and also Alana just got me there at the end.
Yes.
Okay. We got this. It's okay. Got some chaotic energy tonight.
We've got
Wandering Hearts.
to help.
Last we played, You stood before a massive suit of armor animated by ooze that blocked the way to the only floor to the Tower of Ascension you had not yet explored. Funneled towards an angry red portal that Billy imagined led to the bad neighbor. You made a decision to not trust the ooze beyond, and cross swords with a massive armored creature. Valis, you confronted this abomination that was an ooze, engaged with the first blow that missed before deciding to dodge in place and take the creature's attention away from the rest of your party. Cheshire, you inspired Valis with some less than kind words, and helped Valis held the front line. You tried to strike fear into the ooze and found them highly resistant to some of these charm-like effects. Ori slipped away from the ooze to investigate upstairs, finding stone plaques with obscure writing that was impossible for him to read. He then fired off a volley of shots that, while not extra damaging, caused the ooze to strike at disadvantage each turn. Billy found their way to the portal's edge, and seeing strands of ooze lead from the portal to the armored ooze itself, you cut them to weaken the creature's resistances and reduce their perception. Alina, you blasted away at the entity, trying to use Shatter to try and disrupt the item-based components of the creature, but without success. And though Valis did lose their memory of the parabeads, you were victorious in this fight, and managed to managed to more thoroughly study the room above you to learn that you could control the portals to allow you to travel to 6 different destinations. Alina, you ascertained this was not a complex writing, but in fact just common in reverse. You found these destinations to each read: the Tower of Avarice, the Violent Knot, Trader's Hold, the Guard Barracks, Foundries of Vindication, and the Adjudicatory. I just fired right at there. Which the bad neighbors seemed to occupy. You rested, and after peeking into the various portals, identified that the Foundry of Vindication was likely the location of Lormar, and a good look by Billy confirmed this as well. You had a discussion about where to go, and throughout this discussion, realized that Cheshire hadn't really been filled in on key elements of the story, and we, the players, realized that Tina had not been filled in on key elements of the story. As the party attempted to sort this out, they watched as Minka stumbled through the portal. And though Cheshire found themselves a little bit more familiar with the situation that they were in, you all found yourselves in a slightly more dire predicament. As Alina, you tripped and fell prone directly next to Minka, and found the eyes of some of the denizens of the Foundry upon you. And as that occurs, and as you can hear this kind of fire flare to life beyond, that is where we begin this evening.
Architect.
I know, look at that.
Well done.
Sailed it.
So, in front of you, let me bring up this battle camera since we
Are
have
you?
it here.
Is Valis standing?
Valis is standing, yeah.
Oh, lucky him.
Are you
Valis
standing?
did not. No.
No,
Damn,
Minka
that's
and Alina
crazy.
tumbled over the edge because Alina was like, "Oh, I'll steady Minka." 4. No, I won't.
All of you watch as, like in Iron Airship, Alina and Minka take off into this room. They collapse almost immediately off the portal and down about 10 feet of stone, and there is just a clatter and a thump as they fall. And there is not shatter. This isn't like an idle factory floor by any means, but there is a absence of motion that follows that makes it feel a lot quieter than it really is. That you can hear a burning furnace beyond. You can hear the sound still of machinery and something like large billows in the distance. But at this moment, all eyes are on you. Is there anything that you are doing?
I think Minka immediately, just reflexively, will just yell, "I'm okay!"
So you yell out, "I'm okay!" And it just echoes through this room. And at that moment, you can see in the very back of the chamber, there is a circle that is sort of elevated. And at first, you couldn't, and you still cannot see it directly, but you can see suddenly these lights just ignite within it. And as that happens, the rest of the light seems to pull away from the room and focus towards the rear center. And you can see, Minka, there's just two glowing purple eyes that now billow like flames out of this iron dragon-like beast. You can see the rest of the light really coming from this huge fiery creature that just swells out of a well in the corner. Is there anything else that you're saying aside from that immediate reflexive statement?
I have something I want to do.
Yeah, Alina.
Okay, so Alina remembers that when Rez was explaining about how the Infernal machine works, he mentioned that as long as you like stay to the side, you won't get caught in the soul-sucking beam. So with that fresh in her memory, she's going to grab Minka and like yank her off to the side. And because like the jig is up at this point and I would rather not have my soul sucked. So she's gonna stand up, grab Minka, and book it over to this side, even though there's guys over here.
So if you grab Minka, you start booking it over to the side, you can see these eyes begin to flare even more to life. And you can move up to 30 feet in that direction, but...
Could I also move?
There's guys over here.
You can also move up to your regular movement speed.
Yeah,
and I would
just
say
like,
anybody else who's on the other side of the portal, you can't directly see that this is happening, but you hear the falling. You can hear Minka shout out, "I'm okay." In this room that you know is inhabited by people that are less than friendly to you. So if you want to move as well, you can.
Should we go now or wait? Do we hear like the whirring of the machine or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alina has...
Give it a minute.
With Alina's movement speed, we're tucked over here now, assuming that there's no
Protect
reason we
Minka.
can't be.
So you drop down, you roll over to the corner and to the side, and you rush towards this area where there are beds. You can see there is a big cage, and inside you can see there are blackened fingers wrapped around the bars, and there is just a skeletal remains of a humanoid person that was just kind of smoldering away within this cage. You can see these two goblins, both also hooked up to these tubes. There is poison that is being pumped through them at this very moment. They look at you with these haggard eyes. Their ears are drooped down low. The mouths hang open. You can see the gums kind of receding away from the teeth. They're in really bad shape. One of them is dragging like a hammer around. The other one is carrying a half-full skin of water. But they just look at you and seem confused, a little bit taken aback. But that is really all the time that they have to register this before there is a unearthly roar that comes from the center of this room. And as it shouts out, you can hear the sounds of these souls individually shrieking from within. And I do need anybody who has not moved, or actually I need everybody, to roll for initiative.
I hate that.
Hi. Not bad.
Oh no. Not good.
The
That's one that didn't roll.
It's my favorite battle music.
I try to save it for
What is it again?
larger fights now.
Yeah, that's it. You know that shit has become proper real when this battle music plays.
Yeah.
Proper real.
Proper real. Proper fucked. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody with a natural 20?
No.
Okay. Anybody with a 30 to 25?
Why you gotta throw out the Starfinder numbers, man?
Well, I'm just making sure everybody's included.
I got a 31. I don't feel included.
25 to 20.
22 over here, though.
2 for Billy. Okay. 20 to 15.
17.
19.
17. 19 for Minka. 17 for Cheshire. Okay. And then 15 to 10.
Oh, shit.
9.
Valis at 9. What about you?
7.
Okay.
Them's Valis numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Alina, what is your dexterity?
14 plus 2.
Plus 2.
There's a chance.
There is no chance.
You're going last.
Very last.
The way that this
I look
shakes
forward
out.
to having my soul sucked by this machine.
So, the Infernal Iron Beast will be starting us off, followed by Billy, followed by Minka, then Cheshire, then the Devil-like creature, then Valis, then the Forge Foe, and then at the very end Alina, and then on initiative order 0, anybody who might be considered other shall be going. So, starting off with this Infernal Iron
That's
Beast.
a category.
It is a category. It's a large category.
Very broad. all-encompassing, if you will.
So up at the very top of this place, this huge creature belches and explodes forth. And, let's see, that is a choice. Minka, are you glowing?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I guess Omar's gonna make a dex save.
Oh no.
Rumble over here. And...
You think he's aiming at me?
I should have realized that it could move, but it just didn't occur to me.
So, for what it's worth, as this thing moves and it like moves along these huge tracks, you could hear gears grinding and souls shrieking out as if they are being used to lubricate the machinery itself. This creature does have these tubes that are attached to the elements of the workbench that Lormar is working on. And so this is not complete by any means. So it's moving, but it's slow, it's ponderous. It does make it over to the edge of this platform, but you get the sense as these tubes stretch taut, it can't really go much further. That being said, it is certainly lining up with Valis. And Valis, you can see suddenly there is a inhalation, and it just seems to almost make the very little bit of light in the room just go dark. And then it breathes out. And there is a shriek, unlike anything that you've ever heard, like 100 souls that just all cry out in pain. And they scream across you, and I need you and all the dwarves and the two folks behind to all make dexterity saving throws.
Yeah, no, this is actually quite good. These are little did we know that Sylvie would be providing Foley for this.
I know,
episode.
Yeah. Dexterity saving throw from Valis.
Ooh, that's not good.
It's not good at all for the other folks either.
Oh boy.
Ooh, one person that matters, man. All right, what are we looking at there, Valis?
It's a. We are looking at a 9.
A 9 is a failure.
All right.
So, as this breathes scorched souls across you, you do take
So many of these.
Devil? Ice devil?
19 points of necrotic damage. And you see...
Quick question: is this from a spell or I don't know? Yeah.
it's not.
Okay.
You just cried though. It's multi-layered.
Oh.
You can see as these roll across, it is like the skin itself on each of these individuals. You see 2 Duragar, you see a individual who looks like perhaps a goblin, although their eyes looked a little bit off as if they maybe belong to a fish or something similar, all just shredded away, and they become part of the flame, burst for 5 feet beyond, and then just explode and are gone. There is no remains, there is no items, they are just puff into little bits of ash, and the fire from this creature goes out. And you can see just the eyes and cinders remain. But that is that creature's turn, and that brings us to Billy. Minka, you're on deck. You hear Cheshire say, maybe wait a minute, and then you can see light from the other side of this as it scorches out, and you hear hundreds of screams all at once. And also a baby.
I never said I was smart. And then Billy goes through the portal.
Right through the portal, and you are just met with not heat, but this nauseating wave that rolls across.
Do you know where the rest of the minis are?
Yeah, it's probably up there because
And then Billy doesn't know what to do. Billy just knows that that thing's in the way. Billy's gonna throw off an eldritch blast at the big dragon machine thingy.
Okay, so you come out, you see just these 2 burning embers in the darkness. Go ahead and make your attack rolls.
The first one is going to be a 15.
What's the range on your Eldritch Blast also?
120 feet.
Oh yeah, you're good. 15 you said? Mm-hmm. That is a miss.
Okay, and the other one is going to be a 27.
That is a hit. The first one strikes it just right off the face and just chromes off. You see the force bolt just explode off the ceiling.
I have to quick do a read because I just realized it might not work with this size thing.
This would be considered a huge creature.
Yeah. That is not enough information there.
Are you talking about the Eldritch Invocation that pulls?
Yes.
No, it does
It
not
doesn't work? Okay. You know, you gotta...
It was a good idea.
No, absolutely.
Could have
It's
just
like,
yanked it right out of
yanked
its.
it down and then it'll just
Yeah.
be nose on the ground. Is that count? That counts.
I
The
mean,
Angel's strategy knows on
Doesn't
the
look cocked to
ground.
me.
doesn't look cocked to me either. You ruined it.
I ruined it. We'll just roll again. Fuck. Should have just taken it. It's fine. 6 points of force damage.
6 points of force damage. You fire, and it doesn't do the full amount that you had wanted to. But
Shock.
no problem.
Aw.
You see parts of it just.
Sorrows.
Sorrows.
Anything else, Billy?
Phallus is in the line of fire there. You know, we're just gonna hope that he's just, you know, you got the beads do lots of cool things. Just try them out and preferably try it on that thing, and that's gonna be some bardic inspiration.
There you go. Bardic inspiration.
He's
and
gonna
not a
cast
little bit of
legend
a
lore
place.
on the infernal.
You can cast
I mean-
legend lore on the. You can't. You already cast it today.
That's true. There are worse things that you could do, though, I feel
That's
like.
true. Yeah.
So that is your turn, Billy?
Yeah.
All right, you fire these Eldritch Blasts.
Oh,
you give some
wait.
advice. You sigh under cover. Not sure of what this creature can do, but not willing to find out. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to you, Minka. Minka, you are pulled to safety even as you watch a number of creatures just immolated by the scorched souls that come out of this beast.
Okay. I have questions.
Yes.
This is all stone?
Yes, that is all stone.
Okay. Next question is... Awesome. The stuff that is connecting everything is roughly here. It's like...
Yeah, it runs mostly central and then goes down into the central two stone squares that are, right there.
Okay. So it's basically like whop whop.
Yep.
Okay. Now I am going to channel the form of the dragon, so I will now start glowing.
Okay. You begin to glow.
And this allows me to both fly and have good concentration checks. So I choose to fly upwards so I can see this area
Okay.
a little bit better. I'm going to, I can go up to 20 feet in the air, so I'm only going to go about 15 feet up.
Okay.
I just want to be able to like see what's going on a little bit better.
You fly up and you get to close to that level. As you do, you see a couple of things, Minka. Especially now that you're glowing, you shed light like a star in the middle of this room. And doing so, you can see just as the elements of burnt souls sweep across them, you can see lying on the ground the body of Arwe, who is a poet that existed within the Enclave for a time. You can also see layer on the Prospector's hammer that is kind of standing in the place where the dwarves and the Duergar were. And then you see Lormar, who is shackled up here, still very much alive, but now prone on the ground. And they seem to have taken a little bit of damage as well. That seems to be, at least from what you can see, the immediate Enclave members in this space.
Okay. So. Okay. I am going to cast Wall of Stone,
Okay.
5th level spell.
Very nice.
I'm going to cast it through here
Okay.
in an attempt to either sever or disrupt the cabling.
Okay. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So you're making it this way, like this? Actually, is it a straight line wall of stone?
It can be in any direction. It could be any real shape. I can form like crenellations and battlements and all that jazz. So I feel like it. It's really fancy. It's 5th level. It's a lot of baboom.
Oh, I love a good baboon.
Look
So-
at that.
Yeah. Basically, I'm going to do that. So
Museum putty baboon.
now, how many feet is this? So that's 5, 10,
When you're right, you're right.
35 in
Felt
total.
stupid.
It looks like.
No, I liked it.
I believe it's 25. Sorry, 35, yeah.
35. Okay. What I will do is I will choose to keep it to only 20 feet, making sure to sever this.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna like scoop this a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
So 5, 10, 15. So here.
Does it give like a path through?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do this specifically because if it's 20 feet in length or less, it is a 6-inch panels. Oh wait, hang on. Let me just make sure I'm reading it.
Sure.
So the wall is
It's a
6
long-ass
inches
spell.
thick and composed of 10 10-foot by 10-foot panels.
Yep.
Okay, so each panel must be contiguous with at least one other panel. Alternatively, you can create 10-foot by 20-foot panels. 10 by 20-foot panels.
Gotcha.
So they would be taller.
Yeah.
Okay, no, okay. So I will basically cut this area off.
Okay.
So it's 10 by 10. That is 100 feet. Oh, am I done?
10 times 10 is 100.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. 5, 10,
Well,
15.
65 feet.
Okay. I'm basically going to just go like push. This is the timeout zone.
How high up is the wall?
So the wall is 10 feet tall, or I can make double the size and make it 20 feet tall. So I don't know if it'll block it off, but it'll at the very least contain that zone.
So you are just basically right there.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Right across those corpses as well. No problem. Minka, as you fly up, you can see all of these tubes going in, and you're not sure what they do. You've heard about this poison. You can see it goes into Lormar, and it goes into the others as well. But with Arroway down, with the Prospector gone, there's not a lot of the Enclave members who are still alive. And so you focus on severing this connection and casting the normal sort of shape stone, but just to the nth degree. The emotion that is within this casting just erupts it out and causes this huge wall to ripple along and destroy elements of this platform. You can see poison spray everywhere as the little tubes are all severed easily. You can see the little glass links shatter and go everywhere. You can hear a hiss from this devil that is beyond. There is also a very loud sound, that begins, and you suddenly are aware of the fact that the poison on the side closest to you begins to just run out onto the floor. The tubes that are connected to Lormar suddenly just empty, but they don't go into the floor. I would say for Lormar, can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
I roll a 9 on the dice.
It would be, yes.
Oh,
Good save. Potentially huge save.
that's worse.
Lormar,
I tried.
Lormar takes 58 points of damage.
That's too many.
And you watch as in the distance behind this creature prone, Lormar looks up at you as the entirety of his skin swells from within and his face pops.
No.
He is very dead, and that being over twice the amount of damage, there is not really a head or remaining sort of stump of the neck. There is a tremendous amount of blood and venom that just spray across the area, but they are dead.
I'm sorry.
You hear the suction sound and realize that is that pump being severed and having only one direction to go. But anything else, Minka?
I mean, horror.
Yeah.
General horror.
Yeah.
Reaction horror.
Reaction horror. So he's dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Such that a medicine check would not stabilize him.
Right. No,
Yes.
but so I just want to look at my spell list really quick to make sure that I was in fact wise. And I believe I was.
You were.
Yes. Okay. Yep. We're good. All right.
Okay.
Horror. Still
Absolute horror. You are glowing, and the light from Minka dims for just a moment, but that is your turn. That brings us to Cheshire, and then the devil is on deck.
Everything's fine, guys.
Cheshire, you watch as Minka murders another innocent person.
Well, I'm
One
still
Actually-
in the portal,
Actually,
so I
Cheshire's
don't-
not here.
Yeah.
So only I don't know if anyone else had eyeline on that besides Minka. So I don't know if
No,
anyone else.
probably not.
So
No, not with the
only
wall.
I know my sins.
One step closer to Minka, apotheosis as the big bad for sure.
Yeah,
Campaign 3.
I don't know.
Well, it's worth trying.
I don't know if it's like completely severed
Well,
or if it's just
tally
like
ho, lads, and through the portal we go.
it's fine. Okay.
okay.
Everything is fine, and it's okay because I also eventually will get
Could you
access
grab
to
Cheshire
better
from behind?
spells. But maybe let's see.
Seeing kind of the situation that I am greeted with.
I cannot restore any missing body
Oh.
parts.
Ah.
I'm gonna run over toward Billy.
Okay.
And
Reincarnation.
so, because everybody was dumb and ran ahead, and you're the only person who was smart enough, you get the benefit here, and that's protection from good and evil.
Hey!
As long as you're willing, I'm not sure you are.
Yep.
Cool. And then
Only neutral party is gonna harm me.
tuck myself in a corner. Kind of between the Billy and Minka, and make myself as small as possible.
All right, you're between the Billy and the Minka, and you are as small as possible, which is easy with this flying constellation of a dragon over top. But that is your turn, Cheshire. That brings us to the devils. So you could hear this hiss, Minka, as you create this wall of stone, and from beyond you can hear, "The schedule will be delayed. This is unacceptable." And they turn, and you see all these little flames that form this uneven circle of candles rise up. And at the same time, underneath you, Minka, you see a tiny dot appear. Can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
I sure can, and hopefully it's better than what I'm rolling for poor dead ass Lormar. It's not. Dex
This is a dex saving.
11.
11. That is a
Ma'am,
failure.
please.
Deadass Lormar.
Minka, suddenly a column of flame erupts underneath you. And you actually, Alina, can you make that save as well?
Man. Sorry, what kind of save dex?
This is a dex saving throw.
Is this against a magic spell?
It is against a magic spell.
Excellent, because that was no good. That's better. Very good. 16.
16. That is also a failure. So each of you takes 19 points of fire damage plus 13 points of necrotic damage as this dark flame erupts underneath you and just burns, as is Flame Strike, but just immediately kind of singes underneath. And this flame, almost immediately to you, Alina, from where you are, you smell a scent that is similar to what Rez smells like when he's freshly summoned. This is like a sort of sulfurous fire that burns underneath. But that erupts and radiates down.
I passed my concentration check.
Oh, yeah.
That is their action.
How's your math real quick?
Is all that they are going to do for now. That brings us to Valis. Valis, what do you want to do?
I want to move 30 feet and face step here.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure.
Do you need to have line of sight for face step?
Probably. Let me look it up.
It might be that you need to be aware of the place. So if so, that's fine.
Let's see. Face step. Let's see.
So it is, yeah.
I have to see it.
Sorry.
All right. In that case, how wide is this ground? The wall? Like, can I? If I face step on the wall?
You can stand on the wall.
Oh, I
right?
can
It's
stand
10
on the
feet
wall?
wide.
It's a 10 foot by 10 foot.
Yeah.
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 So
Oh, okay. Let's see. I think I will, and it's 10 feet high.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so then I guess I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll face step up here.
Very nice.
I'm on the wall now. Then I
Look at
will.
See the horror I've wrought.
Yeah.
You see an
So
exploded dwarf,
None of us know it was you.
and you see this infernal beast, the eyes smoldering in the sockets, but slowly gaining life.
Okay. I yell out, Lormar is down behind me. And then I'm going to action dash. I'm gonna move over here and let's see. And then I'm like on this wall here.
Yep.
And I'm like holding a bunch of goblin scimitars and spears. And then I just reaction drop them all.
Okay, no
Here.
problem.
And I end my turn.
You just drop a whole bunch of small metal objects.
Reaction litter.
Just like real life. So no problem. You drop some stuff on the ground, you run across the stone, face stepping up to where it is, and using this new platform that Minka has created as a byway. But that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to the Forge Foe. So this creature is going to look at this lovely group of people over here.
Oh,
and
no.
you
Hi.
can see it lowers itself. The fire going low for just a moment and then rises up, and the humanoid creature suddenly becomes almost like an orb, and it rises as if it's on a tendril and then fires like a fireball towards all of you, centering on Alina.
Hey.
Which creature is doing this?
This is this fire elemental creature in the corner. I believe this is going to be Alina, Minka, and then I have to read the rules on this really quick. Hang on. Spreads around corners, but not through. Okay, so I'm gonna say Alina,
it's on
Minka, and then those two goblins are
Very
both
much
making
so.
saving throws.
Josh not gonna be happy.
Cheshire and Billy, the two of you are within this
Huh?
spell effect, but the walls are providing enough cover from taking damage. But it is an intense heat as this fireball rolls across.
Additionally, if it's a aberration celestial elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, Billy's got extra protections.
This is an elemental.
So sorry, what kind of save? Dex?
Dex save.
Oh, and it's against the spell, right?
This is.
I know what fireball is. That's good. All right. 19 for Alina.
19 for Alina, that is a success.
Hooray!
And then Minka,
9.
9.
I'm rolling like absolute trash on
Yeah,
3
it's
different
It's the
dice.
chair. It's that chair.
It is. So as this fireball is thrown and explodes at the base of the ground, excuse me, you are going to be taking, Minka, 38 points of fire damage. As this just explodes across, the metal cage that contains the fiery remains is just blown open, and the bones are scattered back through the bars. You can see the different little crates and everything in that area are set ablaze. There is popping as things explode within, and that is a decent amount of damage. Lena, you take half damage from that. And those two goblins are just pulled off the board as they are incinerated. One, beyond recognition, beyond there being bones, they are just ash. The other one is just a straight up charred little crispy corpse.
Sorry, what was the
is-
full amount? How much?
That was 38 points for full.
Okay, so
Halved to, I believe, 19.
thank you.
No problem. That is the Forge Foe. That brings us to Alina.
Okay, so Alina hears Lormar is down. She's like, oh my god, Minka must be so heartbroken that they killed Lormar.
They murdered our
Yeah,
boy.
they murdered our boy.
Fine,
Okay.
I'm very crispy right now, so.
Point of order, having sort of grown up in Thornholm, surrounded by all the magic, probably including lots of druids, does Alina know that the spell reincarnate is a thing and that druids can cast it given the right components?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, Alina's gonna be like, I gotta get me a finger.
Good callback.
So Alina is going to fly up. Okay, first things first, gotta take care of this fucking Tempest Fugit devil over here. So she's gonna fly straight up.
Okay.
Talon mentioned putting backspin on the die, and I'm trying to imagine how one does that.
How high are the ceilings?
The ceilings in this space, I believe, are 60 feet high. But give me just 1 second.
That's fine. Is there another?
Too many of us can now.
45 feet,
There's
sorry.
too much flying. Okay, so Alina's gonna go straight up 35 feet.
Okay.
We can share one, or you can put me on that one and take the other one.
That's a good idea. All right, and then
As we just clear all the regular people away from this with fire.
yeah, that's
Oh, thanks, Joe.
for. Oh dear. Haha.
Remember when we were gonna save everyone?
We tried.
I mean, they're not suffering anymore.
It's true, Joe.
Y'all.
Please. Joe,
We
please.
saved some people.
Okay, so
You haven't even saved yourself.
Yeah, I know.
That's true, yeah.
all right, so this dragon. Fuck this dragon. Fuck a lot of different things. Fuck so many things. I don't even know which thing to fuck first. But I definitely don't want souls to be eaten, so she's gonna go ahead and focus on old mate dragon over here, and she's going to cast can I have your 60-foot thing?
Let's see.
Measure.
Yes, oh, here it is.
Floor sunbeam.
Okay, good. She's gonna cast Shatter. Should just be able to hit the
Very
guy. And let's see. Go ahead and make a con saving throw. DC 18.
Okay, it's got a pretty good con, but only 13.
Dope. All right. So. He has disadvantage. I keep forgetting to be like, I cast this on the metal creature because it's metal, and then I keep forgetting that
still
the whole
fails,
point
yeah.
is that it's disadvantage. But all right, so he is gonna take 31 points of thunder damage. I know, sweet girl. It's hard when you're a dragon.
How much was that?
31.
Not quite as much as you would expect, unfortunately.
Alina's like, I don't think thunder damage is that good against that dragon.
As the
That
thunder
sucks.
rolls across it, it's like it vibrates and then vibrates back off of it. This infernal metal has properties that make it very, very tough against quite a few things. But anything else, Alina?
Alina's like, this sucks super hard. I wish Rez was here to help me against this devil. And then she's like, I wish I had asked Rez how to defeat an infernal machine.
It's like the cartoon thing where you're like looking up and you wish Rez was there, but you see Rez and Rez goes, "You shouldn't let me die." So no problem. Anything else?
No.
All right, that is your turn. That brings us to everybody else. Is there anyone still alive?
We're so good at this game.
For ROA. That's one success. Meanwhile, they're going to do the best cowering they can.
The best coward.
Well, it's hard because they can only go so far from a certain point.
Weird. Interesting.
That's all. You can see people shuffle into cover, and there's nobody else left alive, and so that's all that happens. And that brings us to the top of the round, to this Infernal Iron Beast. So it smolders, and as there is no souls directly in front of it to consume, it seems like for a round it is going to take a little longer to get started again, but you do see behind these eyes the fire begin to flare up as it slowly and ponderously turns about 45 degrees, the two treads just reversing and allowing it to turn. There is smoke coming from out of it. You can hear the shrieks kind of die down a little bit, but that is all that it can do this round. 1 second here. Throws off my math a little bit. Okay. That brings us to Billy. Minka, you're on deck. The rock wall is a very good idea.
Excellent idea.
Yeah. Except, you know. kill the guy.
Billy doesn't know what's going on.
None of us know. None of us can ever know.
Billy can't fly. Billy doesn't know what's going on.
And Minka's got a
And
gun
there's
trained on
fire
them.
everywhere and walls
Just appearing.
just appearing. Billy doesn't really see any way to, like, help. Cool. Billy is...
There is also this thing that threw a fireball at him.
I have to get there. Shit. Is there like a ladder on the other side that I just can't see?
Yeah, right in the front.
In the middle, yeah.
It's just 10 feet of movement down, no climb speed needed because it's a ladder.
10 feet down.
Yep.
And jump.
Jump. Superhero landing, your knees crack and pop.
Oh.
I can't do superhero and I'm in my 30s.
So that's 5 feet, yes?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, no, I don't want that.
But you could form such a tight cluster.
There's literally nothing I can do.
Alina and Mink are about 15 feet away from each
Yeah.
other. Doesn't matter for fireball.
For like pillar effects, it's not.
Billy's gonna stay here.
Okay.
Billy can't do anything.
Billy, you stay behind us.
Billy is just going to fire off an Eldritch Blast as the only thing she can see,
Okay.
which is a forge, and is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, make your attack roll.
Listen, I've already made the worst mistake anyone can make in this battle.
I'm glad you did, since this is like
Honestly,
your NPCs.
yeah. I feel
Maybe we
like
should-
you were just the first one to have that idea.
Can we just quickly grab Lormar and go? Like, we can heal him later.
Oh no, we have to save everybody.
You know, that's... The highest is a 16.
That is a hit.
Okay, well, 1 hits.
What is the other one?
An 11?
No, that is a miss, unfortunately. Although not as far off as you would imagine.
Joe. Please. So that's going to be 14 points of force damage
Okay.
to the forge. Now, Joe,
Yes.
are all the people on the ground good guys? They all seem to be. They all seem to be to have been hooked up to said venom machine.
Correct.
Okay. So I don't want to pull that thing forward. Or is there like a trough here that the lava flows into?
There's a trough that the lava flows into.
It flows like down
Yeah.
here and into this.
Billy's gonna pull it 10 feet forward.
Okay. I'll give you 1 second here.
I don't like how he said that.
No problem. You
I love this.
yank this thing 10 feet forward, and it's in this cauldron, but it is like sucked and pulled out, and you do hear this weird chortling kind of as its stomach is kind of pulled through its back and then like regurgitates up through the spine. But it like down and into the trough. You can see there are like little bits dripping onto its shoulders and back, but it's down there.
And she's just gonna shout it, hey, if you don't want to be here, we don't have to fight you. I don't know, maybe he's a prisoner too.
Okay, you shout that out, no problem. Anything else?
Free action, regret my life choices.
Okay, that's a free action. That is your turn. Billy, Minka, what would you like to do? Cheshire, you're on deck.
Like just such a
Alright.
Cheshire.
So, I'm assuming Arway is the one that is currently face down in front of that pillar.
Correct.
Okay. I will use 20 feet of flying movement to get down back to the ground and 5 feet ahead. And then I will use the rest of my movement to get towards Arway as much as I can, which is a total of 35. So another 15 feet of movement.
I think that should be it.
It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Perfect. Okay. I will then cast. I will then switch from Dragon to Chalice. And then using with Chalice active, cast Cure Wounds at a 4th level on myself. Because I am so close to death, it's not even funny. And then I will use the Chalice form healing on our way.
Very nice. So you soar down, and the dragon itself becomes sleek and shaped almost like a chalice. And as you reach the ground, the chalice overflows, spilling across Arway, and you can hear this as they gasp life into their lungs. They are still alive. You can see they are poisoned currently. They have this kind of greenish cast to their skin, but they are up. How much healing is that?
Okay, so let me figure this out. Okay, so it's now 2d8 for Chalice form. We'll do our way first, and then I'll just do math on myself. So that is a total of 11 points of healing on our way.
Arwa's looking pretty good. With the automatic healing, that just kind of floods across.
Awesome. Okay, and then Minka will heal herself for an amount, which I will find one more d8 in this mess of things. Okay, I will heal myself with these. 23 points of damage, which will get me off death's door.
There you go.
Hey! Oh, I gotta do math. Okay.
Did you have the damage for Lorimar because his dwarf and resistant to poison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my action. That is a free action to switch forms. I still have a bonus action available to me, which I believe is just about nothing due to the fact that I cast a leveled spell. Are there rocks on the ground?
Absolutely now.
I will grab some and cast Magic Stone upon them.
Okay. You pick up elements of the rubble that you know erupted when you killed your friend, and you imbue them with magic. Anything else, Minka?
I mean, be flooded with anxiety sweat and regret.
Okay, but you feel a little better than you did previously. That brings us to Cheshire, and the devil's on deck.
Regretty spaghetti.
I was
Are you still looking crispy, Minka? Or
I'm still quite crispy. I am less like about to fall over, but still quite crispy.
Not quite like Anakin Skywalker on the banks of the lava river, but
Getting
looking
there.
great, yeah.
That's fine. Will, healing word. You know, Minka, I need you to hold it together because we're here for you. That's 9 points of healing.
There you go. The anxiety doesn't go away, but you do feel a little better.
And then I'm going to decluster and kind of move back
Okay.
that way.
As you sense your enemy is beginning to get close to like acting again, seeing how these sort of clustered effects seem to be working, you create some space. That is your turn, Cheshire.
Make myself very small.
Okay. You make yourself very small. That brings us to the devil. So, this
Goddamn
creature
devil.
ignited underneath, but Minka dipped down and disappeared. I would say that's fair enough. Okay. They're gonna turn and look up with turning their attention to you now, Alina.
Hello.
And they don't know anything about it really. So they turn and they squint their eyes, and you can see they are short, they are stout. There is these weird sort of elements of like almost like greenish crystal sticking out of them, but they narrow their eyes and they just say, "Go away." And as they do, could you make a charisma saving throw, please?
Charisma. Is it against a spell?
Yes, it is.
Yummy. That's gonna be a 28.
For just a moment, there is a flicker, and you feel yourself being pulled to somewhere far away, as if you are being banished from this place. But you succeed in that saving throw, and you are not shunted out of this plane.
That's great. I love that for me.
In this moment, there is a burst of these autumn-like leaves that emanate from around you, seemingly from nowhere, and that almost anchors you to this plane. There is something to that, Alina, and for just a moment you do feel maybe the thump of drums or the sound of a horn, but in this moment you can't quite grasp onto it. There is a lot going on. But that is the devil's action. That is, I believe, all that they're going to do this turn. And that brings us to... Oh, you know what? Yeah, that'll bring us to Valis.
Cinematic moment. He runs along the wall and jumps and stabs the devil, landing right on him.
Excuse me, I would like to stab the devil.
You leap up and thrust your sword towards the devil himself. Go ahead and make your attack.
Ooh, that's not. Ooh, got an 8 on the bardic. That might save me. All right, so let's see. Stab attack, 24 to hit.
That is absolutely going to hit. This devil, no armor or anything like that. However, as you do strike them, the sword pierces through their chest. They grab onto the blade, and they hiss at you, "A hex upon thee!"
Uh-oh.
And can you make a... Oh, no, actually, you say it. Phallus, you do take 21 points of necrotic damage.
Necrotic. Is this a spell?
Yes, yes.
Alright, I have the damage because I have resistance to
Very
it. Do I
nice.
take 11 or 10? I always forget.
You take 10.
I take 10. Alright.
So as a reaction, they use this esoteric vengeance, but you were able to overcome even that. Go ahead and roll damage.
Alright, so I smite as well.
Alright.
Get him.
Because I can. And he's Is this thing a fiend?
It is.
Oh. It's the first time that is ever a yes. I get to roll 3 extra dice.
Roll them dice.
Yeah.
Get him.
Roll them
Alright.
dice.
Do I get any damage from jumping off a 10-foot wall and stabbing in him?
You don't. No.
Aw, man.
You get.
Careful, Joe. Sometimes
Because-
makes you roll a disadvantage.
That's the thing. So, like, there's always trade-offs for that, and that would mean probably a saving throw to not, like, just fall and not get an attack. And it's just more cinematically cool if you just run and jump and get the attack.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Alright, so that'll be 9 magical piercing, and the worst smite roll ever, 6 radiant.
So, at least the radiant does more than you would expect.
Nice.
But overall, not a tremendous amount of damage.
Alright, then you know what? I'll do it again.
There you go.
Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna hit. 12 to hit.
12 is a miss, unfortunately.
Alright. Bonus action, I grab a bead, I'm like, I don't understand how party tricks can help us, but I take the last bead remaining and I crush it, and all those gobble scimitars and spears rise up.
Yay!
So, you crush this bead, you cast animate objects, and suddenly these dozens of small rusty daggers just and you can hear the scrapes and see the sparks in the darkness as they come across the stone. But there is a de facto cloud of daggers now.
Vincent loves that.
I know he does.
I do love that
I sort of
spell.
assumed that's why you were carrying these around. Anything else, Valis?
That'll be it for today.
Alrighty. You strike into this fiend, but that is your turn. That brings us to the Forge Foe. So, the Forge Foe,
Listens to my pleas and goes home.
not quite, but it does have to turn around.
It was captured in that
Shuffle
cauldron and I helped it.
itself. No, it has to go back. And so it does have to turn and move.
Does it? Does it have to go back in there?
I mean, it thinks it does.
So it turns and it moves around, and you can see, though it seems like shocked and frustrated, it immediately turns and crawls back. Almost part of it feels instinctual. You're not quite sure what's going on there, but there's something to it. It glows a little bit brighter as it kind of surges in, and then as it had to return and use its action to climb, that is all that it can do on this.
Haha.
Go.
Man, I played myself on this one. Okay, no worries. That is his turn. That brings us to Alina.
Yeah. Okay. Lena's gonna be like, he can do that thing! Only Cheshire should do that thing! Vanish or something? I don't know. And then that done, she's going to...
I have to say I can't.
Okay, just like FYI. She's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over here because she saw the dragon turn. And all right, she's just gonna keep wailing on this dragon asshole. So we're gonna go
Your
with
choice of wording, when you watch this session back, I just want you to think about your choices of wording across this whole session.
It's less that he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Look. You guys have known me a long time now. You know that anything can be an asshole.
That's true.
Okay, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
all right. Well, Eldritch Blast. Fuck all of you.
I know too much.
Hate everything. That's a 16 and a 26.
16 is a miss. 26 is a hit.
6 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
As it clangs off and doesn't do
Yeah.
quite as much as you would like.
It doesn't.
But no worries. Anything else?
Lena's like, I don't think I'm doing a very good job.
You don't say!
Thanks, Cheshire.
Anytime.
That is your turn, Alina. That brings us to everybody else. We have people who are cowering as far as they can, and they've stayed safe, so there's no reason to move them. I would say, actually, the ogre, before Trine is pulled down and keeps moving around, is going to probably nervously try to shuffle over as far as they can this way.
Oh, there's a fucking ogre over there?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's all
Crazy.
hooked up to gross stuff, too, though.
Okay.
You could just
He
hear
might be
him
nice.
just go, and just duck and try to hide the other direction.
Yeah,
No,
he's
all ogres are bad. Remember this.
That brings
All
us to the
ogres are
top of the
bad.
round and to this iron beast. So,
We always attack ogres on sight. That's the thing we've
your
always done.
stone wall really has it.
Billy, you
bit
sound
of a bond.
sarcastic, but we do always do that.
I have the
Right?
EC.
Billy?
Yep.
No,
So we always do this.
Are you saying we shouldn't?
it is
No
going
reason.
to back up because it doesn't even have space to turn.
Beep, beep, beep.
And at
Just rolls
disadvantage-
over Lormar's body.
At disadvantage, it is going to make
Bisecting
a multi-attack against Valis with its tail.
I think
It
they
is
have
going
OSHA
to
and
use
help.
Iron Tail on Valis. Valis does a
That's gonna increase its
pop,
defense.
luckily for you. Does a 21 hit?
Oh, it does.
Okay. And I'm imagining an 18 does not.
It does not.
Okay, so only one hit.
And that was with
The-
disadvantage?
Yes, that was with disadvantage.
Hate that.
On Valis. As this iron tail swings into you, you are taking 16, 22 points of bludgeoning damage. And can you make a dexterity saving throw, please? You can see this tail coming, especially as it has to awkwardly shuffle backwards.
Sorry, how much damage? 22 you said?
I believe so, yes.
Alright, I barely made the concentration check there. Dex, you said?
Yep.
21.
21, you are able to keep your footing as it swings towards you. You jump up, and it almost takes your arms out from under you as you are able to kind of like plant yourself over it. But you do manage to keep your feet. You are not knocked prone. That is the only thing that this creature can do. It does not get its iron breath back, or its breath of scorched souls back. That is all that it could do. That brings us to Billy.
Billy's just kind of like gonna look back at Cheshire. It's like, I think he had to do that. Like, compelled.
Yeah. Do it again.
Do you have anything that can maybe uncompel him so he can stop fighting us? But I'm gonna do it again. And Billy tries to do it again.
Okay.
I love like the different kinds of battles that are happening on the field right now.
My stupid one. So that's the lowest one
Double
is a
entendre
15.
accidental, of
15. 15 is a hit.
Cool.
You
So
pull
they
them twice,
both
you'll
hit.
have the initiative advantage.
I can only pull once.
Dang it.
So that's 7 and 9, so 16 points of force damage,
Okay.
and pulled forward out of his cauldron again. Ow! Stop
doing that.
As he's pulled out, you can see there is this like sudden urge, and like the organs are rearranged and pulled out, and you see this magma just slop down, and again there is this grunt, but it is back down. You can see already it's turning towards the cauldron.
It doesn't normally turn people inside out like that.
Anything else, Billy?
Billy doesn't know what to do, shrugs. Pardix Cheshire.
Right, Bardic shrug. That is your turn, Billy. That
Billy's
brings
never
us-
felt, and this is saying a lot, never felt more ineffectual.
That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Minka. Cheshire, you're on deck.
All right. Mika's going to run up towards our way,
Okay.
get within base contact, and cast upon them protection from poison.
Okay.
So, protection from poison, you touch a creature. If it is poison, you neutralize the poison. If more than one poison affects a target, you neutralize one poison that you know is present, or you neutralize one at random. For the duration, the target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and has resistance to poison damage. Duration is 1 hour.
Very nice. So you go ahead, you touch Araway, and there is a burst of cosmic energy that flows between you, and you pass this element of magic onto her. And as you do, it bursts through their body. They emerge almost like a electrical jolt is put through their body, and they bolt upright, almost headbutting you as they do so. But they are up. You can see the poison driven from their system. They regain that kind of hale and hearty look. They still look a little banged up, but otherwise they are up.
All right, cool. Minka's then going to use her bonus action to take the stones that she imbued with magical ability, put them in Arwe's hands, and tell her that someone has to survive this.
Okay.
And then... What'd you say? She's going to channel the dragon and then fly 15 feet up.
Oh, so cool.
Okay. You put those stones in her hair and you say, someone has to survive this. You up. And for the first time in a long time, you get the sense that somebody's probably going to write a poem about you that is not Cheshire. Assuming that they survive.
That's a lot of assumptions.
They hold the magical stones in their hand. They have that now ability to lightly steer their fate. Anything else, Minka?
So that was my action to cast a spell, bonus action to pass stones, movement to go up. So that is it.
Alrighty, Cheshire, what would you like to do?
No one's gonna comment on Pass the Stones. No.
No, I've already spilled everything all over the floor, so.
Alright, Billy.
It's not as good as wailing on the asshole.
I know. I've been informed of my malapropism.
I think they're great.
And
Sir?
Billy and both to my lovely elemental friend, you're on your own. And he's going to have to subtract. Wait, no, it's 10 now. Alright.
God.
3 from the next save he's gonna make.
Okay.
And that's gonna be a charisma saving throw. As I say, bye-bye.
Charisma saving throw?
Yes,
13.
that is a failure. He is banished.
So all at once, you could see he turns one of these arms over the top. They're just trying to make their way back into this cauldron. And then you say bye-bye, and you cast Banish. And you could see suddenly at the base of this sort of structure, a dark, glowing flame is extinguished. And all at once, this creature just disappears, and there is a puff of smoke that rises in its place. And I would say, Cheshire, you get the sense that they will not be coming back.
Return to my roll.
That's a good idea.
Very nice.
Billy's just gonna kind of like crouch back down behind the wall.
But you help, Billy. That is anything else, Cheshire?
This is a shit show.
Alrighty. You banish the forged foe. That brings us to the devil themselves. They are now like this tail swings directly in front of their face. And they don't love that.
They are not.
Ow!
Are they not enthused by the tail swell?
They're not super enthused by this. So despite the risks, oh man, they don't love Valis. He's a gnome.
What? Everyone loves Valis.
Matt has wheeled. And
Oh,
It's too late, Matt. It's too late.
Matt, I fucked it up literally on the first turn. It's way too late.
Lormar is deceased.
Finger Gang Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
All that he could do, given the circumstance, is he can turn to look at you, Valis. In the darkness here, with this creature swinging at you, he can say, "Leave me alone." And he is going to rip off part of his hand. You can see he just taking a chunk of flesh out of the palm, and he throws it towards you. And can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
You're good at that, right?
That spell is just, it's not a spell, it's just grossing somebody out.
20.
20?
Dirty.
That is a success.
Nice.
And so as they throw this at you and it moves through the air, you can see it spreads out and twists and seems to almost slow down. And you feel this slowing sensation, but you know this spell. You've seen Cheshire cast it before, and you are able to dodge out of the way, and this hits behind you. You can see it strikes the body of Lorimar, who just starts decomposing in slow motion. But aside from that, nothing else happens. That is their action.
Ashes work too, right?
They assume that would work, and so then they're going to move.
Attack of opportunity.
Yep.
12, below 13.
He's going to start climbing. 13, that is a miss, unfortunately. But... And you watch as he tries to scamper up and then turns and looks at you and realizes he can't make it up this wall. That's okay, he has a plan B. He reaches into his pocket for something. That is his turn, however. That brings us to you, Valis.
While spoiling people yet
Over
again.
here. Bonus action, I
This is
tell...
like the worst round for me.
Yeah, that first round was the best round
It
for
was
you.
so good.
yeah.
I was feeling so good. Oh,
Listen,
this wall.
I tell my goblin armament menagerie to attack this devil,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna attack him twice.
Okay. So go ahead and make attack rolls with that.
So my attack is finally some hits. This is a 28 to hit.
A 28 is absolutely it.
Nice. That'll be 10 magical piercing.
Okay.
Second attack. Dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 is a miss, unfortunately. Very close, but this just clangs right off this infernal armor.
Wait, what? I'm attacking the devil?
Oh, you're attacking the devil. That is a hit. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'm attacking the devil both times.
And so, how much was that first damage then?
10.
10? Okay. 2. Okay.
And so the second one was a hit as well.
Yep.
You know, I'll smite this time as well. So this is probably going to be my last smite. I wish I had more for this guy. Ooh, that's a good smite. Alright, so that's going to be 6 magical piercing.
Okay.
And then 17 radiant.
17 rating.
Yeah.
That's a good amount of damage right there.
Mal's just soloing this devil in the corner.
Jeez. So you hit him, and with that blow, the piercing damage itself sinks into the flesh. You can see it twists through, and they still just hiss and sneer at you, and they say, "I've always got a way out." And then there is a of radiant energy that bursts from within them. You can see it emerges at the other side. They are badly hurt by that. They are still up.
Okay.
They are going to turn and twist and say, "Curse you!" And they are going to deal.
Are they going to curse him?
They are. Well, no.
Is that what he says to curse him?
No.
That's not inventive.
8 points of necrotic damage to you.
After 9.
Yes, this is a spell.
Alright.
And that is all that they can do as a reaction to that.
Unfortunately for him, I made my concentration check, and I am not alone. So now all 10 of my animate objects are gonna attack him.
There you go.
Alright. Alright, so I'm just gonna do half of them first, because I only have so many D20s. Let's see. I know, right? Animate objects.
Oh, this is gonna be brutal.
Alright, so this is plus 6 to hit, so there's one natural 20 in there. The lowest is a 10,
Okay, 10's a miss.
11,
Miss.
and 14.
That's a pizza.
Oh, so unfortunately only 2 of them hit, but one of them is a crit. So let's see, let's roll the crit first. 10 slashing,
Okay.
and then another 5 slashing.
Okay.
And then another 5 things attack him.
Okay.
Ooh, there's 2 natural 20s in there.
Very nice.
Alright, the lowest is a 10,
That's a miss.
then a 16.
That is a hit.
Alright, so
4
let's...
hits.
4
2 crits.
hits, 2 crits. Let's roll the 2 crits first.
Jesus.
Oh, those are terrible crit rolls. 3, double 6. 10 damage from the 10 damage altogether from the 2 crits, and then 9 damage from the other 2.
Okay.
All right.
So he turns and runs, and as you strike into him, there's this burst of radiant flame out the side. They turn again. They say, "I hex you," and as they do, you can see all the gleaming daggers just turn around behind them. And as they turn, their face is just torn to ribbons. As all of these just cleave across, they're still alive, but as they go to the other side, it looks like their face has been unbandaged because of the way the skin has just sloughed off. That is a tremendous amount of damage, but they are still up, and you can see the flames around this circle flicker lower and lower. But that is all that they can do, and that actually brings us to. Oh no, wait, sorry, that is your turn, right?
That's all I can do.
That was your reaction.
No, that was my animate object's turn after me.
Gotcha. Right. Got a little confused for a second there.
No worries, but I am done.
Okay.
His charms. He's got little charms.
Fro is banished. Alina, that brings us up to you.
Okay. Can I see everything that just took place?
From where you are,
It might be kind
how tall is the stone wall?
10 feet.
10 feet?
I'm 35 feet up in the air.
You are seeing bits of it. Yeah, you're not
Okay.
seeing the full carnage, but you're definitely seeing a good amount of it.
Okay, but Alina's like, I can probably finish this job, maybe. And so she's gonna, let's see, do I have like mechanical line of sight to this
You do.
bad boy?
You do. They definitely have cover. Or which, are you talking about the dragon lake creature?
Dragon or the devil?
Who are you just?
Devil.
I was
Yeah,
talking
that's what I
about
thought. Okay, so I'm gonna just, shift around, maybe get a bit closer until I can see him. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can see him probably from there.
Here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then as is her wont, casting 2 Eldritch Blasts. Okay. Dirty 20 and a 23.
Both of those hit.
Nice. Okay, that's gonna be 19 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
Alina, as you throw these blasts towards this creature, as Valis and his objects have already just shredded it to bits, you can see the face as it turns to hiss at Valis. There is just bone sticking out from the flesh. You throw these Eldritch Blasts. The first one strikes them in the neck, and that almost just rips the rest of it away. And the second one severs the head entirely. You see it just fly over top. All the candles in the circle just go out.
Nice.
And all at once, the sound of the suctioning kind of pump stops. Almost like it is a heartbeat that just goes out with this devil. But that is the creature dead. Anything else, Alina?
Yeah, as if reaction, she's gonna be like, your head for Lormar's head. That's, you took his head and now we take yours.
Okay. You shout that over the wall.
Yeah.
Minka, I'm sure you feel much better.
Yeah.
That is your turn, Alina.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Maybe the worst fight we've ever been in.
That brings us to the top of the round and to, or actually, so Araway with these stones.
She's empowered now. She can hug him.
She's gonna make a stealth check.
No.
So for where she is, she ducks and she holds these magical stones over her head. And for many of you, she just disappears into the darkness. She rolls pretty high in her stealth check.
How high, Joe? What
How
do
high?
I see with my special eyes?
26.
I don't see.
Yeah. Arway just disappears with close to a natural 20. But the magical stones apparently help him.
I did not explain what the magical
You did
stones
not.
were for.
Top of the round. Thank you. The Infernal Iron Beast.
Mink is well known for just like picking up random rocks, so I guess she was
Yeah,
just
right.
like, ah!
Thanks, Minka. Not really this time.
With no sort of guiding principles or creatures left, it is going to rocket as hard as it can forward, smashing into the wall and into Alina, ideally.
Ow.
That is going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 40. Okay, so I'm going to put this here and then we'll resolve how this all works. Okay. So, As the devil dies and the circle of little candles flickers and goes out, suddenly the souls within this creature begin to shriek and scream louder than ever before. You could see the flames in the eyes fly up, and this creature rears back. The treads burn rubber on the stone itself, and then it slams into the rock wall. Now, this is just like a magical rock wall?
It is a non-magical rock wall, specifically. Each panel has an AC of 15 and has 30 hit points per inch of thickness. It is 6 inches thick, and that is math.
Wait, what was the math?
That would be 180.
There you go. Math.
A lot of hit points.
There's a lot of hit
I think
points. That's a level,
Bad Boy might be contained here.
That's a level 19
Well, no,
character
so
right
it's
there.
each panel, I believe, is a certain amount of hit points.
So
correct?
each panel has 30 hit points per inch of thickness. So it's 6 inches thick, so each panel has 180 hit
Damn,
points.
that's thick.
It's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
So, actually,
Reducing a panel to 0 hit points destroys it and might cause connected panels to collapse with a chance
doesn't
of destruction.
destroy it.
It is trapped. I will let you know.
It does deal 69 points of damage, which is
Nice.
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 But it slams into this, and you hear the shriek and twists of metal as it basically does the same thing as a head slamming into a wall. All the spinal pieces behind just into each other. You hear these souls shriek out, but for the first time, there is almost a iron bellow from within this creature, as that is a sizable amount of damage to the wall. But it takes a good amount of damage itself as it just headbutts it. Although it is resistant, so that helps.
I will let you know that it can make a dexterity saving throw to try to escape the wall vertically if it's able to climb.
It will try. It is not able to climb, so it's very much in a pen at this moment. And for what it's worth, Minka, from where you are kind of flying up above, you do get the sense as it slams into the wall that for at least a brief moment, this creature is a little bit contained, for what it's worth. But that is the creature's turn. That does bring us to Billy.
I guess I'll just like unconnect some people. Disconnect, whatever the word is. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right when you get there, you hear, "Hey," and you look over and you can see this little elf suddenly as they make themselves known to you. They're holding some stones, and they just go, "Take one of these; they'll keep you safe." And I pass it over to you, and you can take a magical stone that you can tell from holding it as Minka's. It has like a celestial glow to it. And you can see just very earnest look in this elf's eyes, the white hair kind of in this short cut, just, and he just holds them up above her and kind of ducks down.
I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And Billy just kind of like looks around. Does anyone else that we like need to be unhooked?
You can see she's just like ducking under the stones now.
So no. You can't point anyone out to me.
She just turns and she just goes, "No, hide."
Okay. Fuck. And Billy is just going to like, so once over like the people, I guess. Is anyone still hooked up?
Yeah, everybody who is not our way at this point.
Cool. Billy can't get any closer to people, and doesn't want to burn a misty step. So Billy has the full intent, looks over at this guy here, is like, "Stay right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna come help."
You shout that, they kind of nod. They look terribly dehydrated, this person, but you yell that out. That is...
Alcohol.
You get the sense that may have something to do with it. Anything else, Billy?
I can do nothing.
Alrighty, that brings us to Minka.
I can do literally nothing.
Alright, so I saw the dragon creature try to escape. So Minka's going to move forward to 20 feet, which is not a ton. Can I action dash towards the wall? I
Yeah.
can. Yeah, I'm gonna action dash towards the wall.
Okay.
Another 20 feet because flight speed is very slow.
Oh, is the trade-off that you can fly but real slow?
It's 20 feet of fly speed, so I'm just like, Whoosh.
Mosey on the wall.
Yeah, it's a lot less
So if
impressive.
you reach the wall, but if you reach the wall, you can start to walk on the wall.
Yeah, so I think I'm like 5 feet off from being able to stand on the wall. Yeah, so I will now channel the archer
Okay.
and just ping it with archer
Yeah.
to the bonus action.
Go ahead, make your attack roll.
It's like when you're swimming and there's a rock just beyond your toes, and you're kind of like,
Oh yeah.
That is a 19 to hit.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
Jesus fuck.
This is also a thick boy.
Yeah. Well, that was my action, bonus action, and movement. so
Alrighty.
all I can do.
No problem. That is your turn, Minka. That brings us to Cheshire.
Hearing all this metal grating and the sound of it slamming into the stone, Cheshire says, "Oh no! I'm just gonna drop a synaptic static right on top of it."
Nice. That's a charisma save?
Intelligence saving throw.
How big is synaptic static? Is it just a?
I forget, what is it doing again?
There's a.
Ooh, 20-foot what?
Use the thing.
It's not lingering now.
Oh, okay.
20-foot cube.
Still, we have things now.
Oh,
An intelligence score of 2 or lower cannot be affected by this spell. With an intelligence of 2, I created something right for once. And so, as you synaptic static, you get the sense that what is driving this is the pure torture of the souls inside, and no real cognizant kind of thing happening. It taking off and slamming into this is really just acting on a primal level. Yeah.
And Minka. Please don't die, Dan.
Yeah, not looking great, and Minka's right there. But that is your turn, Cheshire. That brings us to Valis, and then Alina is on deck.
oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Alright, I am gonna run over to Lorimar.
Okay.
How destroyed is his head?
What head?
God.
I'm going to,
Smithereens.
because I know Lorimar means a lot to Minka, I am going to cast Gentle Repose on his body.
Okay. So you go over, you can see this body has been absolutely pulverized. It is coursing with poison. The veins are blackened within. But as you lay a hand upon it, it's almost as if the rigor of this death relaxes ever so slightly, and then there is no mouth. It's like the corpse lets off one final breath. And you get the sense that it is protected from further tampering, at least for the time being. Anything else?
Yeah, I tell all of my... then I turn to look at the Infernal machine, and do I see any... Now that I'm closer up and looking at it, does it seem like there's anything I can do to kind of stop it from doing things?
So I say this not to be funny. You do see that in the underneath what is like a tail that has struck you several times, there is a rubber gasket that looks like some kind of exhaust port or something. That very well could be a weakness. It also could be a alternate ability of some kind that is not yet triggered. You're not
is
quite
it
sure.
where the souls get pooped out, Joe?
It's not that. So, for what it's worth, that may have something that you could maybe utilize. But aside from that, it is a hulking infernal iron beast, and
I tell all of my weapons to attack its butthole.
you do that psychically. And
Are you hoping for like a dramatic and cinematic fight related to your backstory, or were you hoping for?
No, this is about on brand. This is all on brand. This entire
so much
situation, from falling into the battle to immediately killing our target that we're trying to save.
accomplished.
Mission accomplished. If nothing else, me immediately killing Lorimar meant that it couldn't be used against us, so we were just free to fuck shit up what they were gonna do.
It's the police executing a hostage.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Shoot the hostage.
Guys, we as a group are a hammer, not a scalpel.
All right. So
That's
make
right.
your-
I saw that Bard's play Speed, 1995, and we learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
Shoot the hostage.
Okay, let's see. So that is gonna be... Ooh. Does it, 12, 16, 18?
Any of those?
Okay.
Yeah, do
Two
any of
natural
them?
ones.
Oh, those don't hit.
Alright, another 5 attacks. Wow!
You got 3 natural 20s with them last round, so that's where it's evening out.
Yeah.
It is evening out.
Balancing all things.
Only one roll above a 10, and it's a 18.
That is not high enough.
Wow.
Ting, 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 ting. It is a tiny gas. Anything else?
Would you say he's a bit of a tight ass?
It's like the exhaust port on the Death Star.
I see Minka, and I tell Minka that I've preserved his body.
Okay. Minka, you hear Valis say that over the sound of ting, 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 these little metal objects pinging off this creature's rear. But that is your turn, Valis.
Yeah.
That brings us to Alina.
Okay. Alina's like, did he just... Okay. And since Eldritch Blast... Well... Okay. It didn't do that much, but I don't want to burn a spell slot, so I'm just going to do more Eldritch Blasting. But this time without double entendres. 17 and a dirty 20.
Both of those are misses. As you fire them with this creature, it just bounces off the plates. These are angled for war, and it is pretty hard to land a hit.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Alina's going to be like, man... And then, just kind of go back over this way.
Okay, you shift off to the side using the World of Warcraft tanking maneuvers. That is your
I
turn.
don't want my soul
Alina.
to get sucked out.
No, it's a good idea. It's honestly, you guys have
Make
done
it keep turning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That is your turn, Alina.
back and forth.
That brings us
Am I
to Araway. Araway gave that stone to Billy. They hid, and now they're going to cross the distance to the wall of the portal structure.
Is this our way?
Yeah, they pick up the stones and they just waddle, like kind of walking, keeping them above their head, using them as cover. And they can't climb yet, so they're just going to end right at the little ladder. Yeah. They have to survive, so they're making their way out. That brings us to the top of the round and to the Infernal Iron Beast. This creature, realizing it cannot, well, it doesn't really have a lot of intelligence.
I'll say that's less than 2 intelligence.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Doesn't get its soul breath back, so it's going to just rear back and slam into this wall. This wall has been surprisingly effective against it.
May have killed the person we were in to save, but
Listen, how was I?
Focus on the positive.
Listen, Mika doesn't know anything about negative pressure and what pump.
I
So that is
literally
33
think
more points of bludgeoning
any of
damage
us could have
as
done
it just
that. You just got
slams into
unlucky
this
that it was
thing.
you.
It just crushes into it, and it will take a second attack as well.
Go for it.
12, and then 29 points from the second one. And every time that it does, this creature is just taking chunks of its own iron armor away. At this point, having done more damage to itself than any of you have done. But that is all that this creature can do. That brings us to Billy.
I'm coming. Billy's not medically inclined, but knows something about anatomy.
Sure.
Billy wants to remove the tubes. Can Billy remove the tubes other than cutting the tubes?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Make a medicine check.
Will I be able to remove the tubes if I make the medicine check and determine I cannot remove the tubes, like unplugging them? Is this my action?
So, yes, but that will include removing them if it's something that you can do.
Great.
This is like Matrix style.
We'll see.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. With the Dirty 20, no, it's not like Matrix style
Not
because that
bummer.
would kill these guys. Instead, you apply pressure around the site of the entry, and then you slowly slide these out. And it does take an action to be able to successfully and safely remove them. But now knowing that, you can do so at a bonus action from the future.
Sweet. And he is poisoned, but not poisoned for the future.
There you go. And so he looks up at
I'm
you.
helping.
You can see the eyes kind of jaundiced, but they look at you and they say, I've seen you in my dreams before.
That's probably not good. Healing word.
It just threw them, and though they are still poisoned, that will be healing for them.
So that's 7 points of healing for that guy. This guy right here.
Yeah, Isparel, he just is flooded with healing, and suddenly you hear him just go, well, that's not so bad.
And then I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to get to as close as I can get to this guy.
Okay.
Which
you
is just right
rush off, and he says, you may have been somebody else, sorry.
And just says, you don't move.
Who are you pointing to?
This guy.
The ogre?
There's like a little half.
There's a little guy. I'm just
problem.
zigzagging my way through.
You zigzag through. You go
This
towards
is the only thing I can do.
The person that you're going towards, they're short. You can see they have 2 braces on their knees. They were just kind of limping along, but no problem. That is your turn, Billy.
Yeah.
So far, you
Alright.
saved the most people.
That's true. Minka, what would you like to do?
My kill count continues to haunt me. I'm going to move this way a little bit so I'm more behind the guy and hopefully land on the wall. A segment of the
Yeah.
wall that he's
Yeah.
not actively ramming into.
Yeah, that's probably a smart idea.
Yeah.
Well, with 35 feet of movement, you probably.
I only have 20
feet.
feet of movement.
20, because
You can walk on the wall. Do you want to continue floating or walk on the wall?
If I can get onto the wall and walk on the wall, I will.
Yeah, you can step 5 feet forwards and then just run along
Okay,
the wall.
awesome. I'll do that.
Just
All right,
twist
cool.
it so it's just like hanging over.
I will use my bonus action
Yeah.
to fire another arrow at the Infernal Engine.
Okay.
Okay, so that one is a 20 to hit.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
This
You do have Bardic.
I do have Bardic. I can use it for this.
That is a hit.
10. 30.
That is a miss. No, that's a hit. Absolutely.
All right, so that is a total of 12 radiant damage.
The radiant damage does more damage than you would expect. And as it kind of crackles across this creature, you see it seems to almost ignite the souls within. They seem to, instead of just bursting and exploding within, almost let out a final sigh as they just are ignited by the radiant flame and then die down. The eyes kind of get a little darker, but that's a good amount of damage.
Awesome. So see that was effective. I will now use a leveled spell and cast Guiding Bolt upon it.
Very nice.
That is a 25 to hit.
That is a hit.
Excellent. So Guiding Bolt at first level, I believe. 46. So that is 1, 2. Do not pull out all my dice today. For some odd reason. Ta-da, 9. I believe it's just 1, 12. Yeah, so 12 points of radiant damage.
12 points of radiant damage,
And it's
which
glowing.
is doubled to 24. And suddenly this creature, though it is glowing, does not seem to be doing well. The glow itself seems to almost be bathing it from within, and in the same way that a regular fire would burn, it's like the souls themselves catch and burn out. They seem to almost get relief from this as they are released. There is no unearthly shriek as they are bellowed forth from the mouth, and you get the sense that this, when it dealt radiant damage, probably loses the ability to use its breath if it had it in the first place. Does not seem to have regained that ability yet. But anything else, Minka?
She's just actively crying at this point.
All right, no problem. Actively crying is a free action.
Yeah, we found that out.
Yeah, we did. Early in the campaign.
Yeah.
That is your turn. That brings us to Cheshire.
Alina, use resources or no?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're making a dent.
So do nothing. Go home.
Help me unplug these people.
Yeah, help unplug the people.
You know you tried.
You look over, you see all these tubes are like kind of gross and crusty and stuck into the people themselves. Yeah.
Is
That
the,
requires getting closer to the danger.
is the
and
thing
there's
gone for
bursting.
good?
No. I guess I will give Alina Bardic with that. And
Okay.
you can steal it from
Yeah.
Minka.
Thank you.
A little bardic transfer.
And
Bardic
that's
transformation.
all I'm gonna do.
All right, you're not getting
making
close to
myself
those.
small.
You're not getting close to those crusty people. You get small. That is your turn, Cheshire. That brings us to Valis.
I'm so sorry I'm doing this to us, everyone. So before, I was able to use lay on hand points to free some souls. If I get my hands on these souls and try to do that again, do I think it'll work?
You get the sense that certainly something will happen.
All right, I am going to stick my hand into the gasket and try and use the last of my lay on hand points to try to free any souls that it.
How many
come in
points is
contact
that?
with. Only 5.
Only 5?
Are you doing a solonoscopy?
Phenomenal. Save that moment. Oh, wow.
Is that the title of the episode?
I wish it was more points.
Me too.
Pump 5 points of your lay on hands in, and as you do, you can feel the release within of this energy that explodes with pressure as these souls are just set free from this beast. And it deals 10 points of radiant damage, which this creature is still alive, bellowing smoke, but still up.
Does that count as an attack?
It is not counted as an attack.
Okay. So it's still
Medical check.
No, but important, it's still glowing.
going.
Still glowing.
All right. So that was not an action you said?
Lay on
Or it
hands is an action.
Okay.
correct?
Yeah. So then nothing else, and then I guess the rest of my animate objects are gonna continue to try to attack the
Okay,
gasket.
make your attack rolls.
Which is much better this time. Does a 14 hit?
Nope.
All right. So then does a 21 hit?
21 is a meets it, beats it.
Nice. So that's 3 hits from the first volley.
Very nice.
Let's see. That's
Oh, they all have advantage. The first one has advantage.
One of those knives gets the heroic advantage.
I'm gonna just. I don't.
Up the butthole all the way.
It wouldn't matter.
All right, it's no longer glowing.
Let's see.
She just needs to do a biopsy.
All right, so I think that's 1, 2, 6, 8, 15 damage
Very nice.
from the first 5, and then the next one. Does a 17 hit?
It does not. 21
right.
is a meets it, beats it.
So I hit it twice with the second volley.
All right.
And I do 15 damage.
Very nice. So, Valis, you gesture forwards, and these little knives swirl back around, all regaining their momentum after pinging off this creature, and a little bit more successful with this volley into the rear end of this beast. And it is, every now and then, cleavers stick into the gasket and into the wedges of the armor that have been blown away from the radiant energy that has burst from within. This creature is being worn down badly, but still up. Anything else, Valis?
End turn.
Okay. That is your turn. That does bring us to Alina.
All right. Alina's gonna finish her thought answering Cheshire's question and be like, you don't need to waste your talents on this. There's bigger things to come that we'll need you for. And then she's like, fixed it. Okay, and then more Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead, make your attack rolls.
Portal, like, done!
Okay, that's a 22 and a 29.
Both of those hit.
Okay, so that's gonna be 22 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
22 points of force and 4 of bludgeoning. Alina,
Yeah?
tell us how it happens.
Its tail falls off, exposing its dragony butthole. And from there, do souls escape? Can we say souls escape?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, just souls just start to leak out. I'm so sorry.
So you give this a true solonoscopy. You rip the tail forward with the burst of these Eldritch Blasts, and as you do, the tail is just ripped away, and there is a flood of these souls that, as they catch, Valis is able to put the last of their lay-on hands into, and instead of a hideous shriek and scream, there is more of a gentle wind of sighs, and all of you are out of initiative.
Generally, one just uses sage to cleanse rooms, but you know,
Not us!
Sage, right?
enemas are good too.
Yeah.
And because it is 8:50, we're going to step away for a quick break, and we'll be back at the end of the countdown that you see on your screen. But thank you for sticking with us for this session of D&D. We'll be back in just a little bit. watermelons. What are they? And we're back.
Not good. That's what this is. Not
Sorry.
good.
After all that buildup. We're playing D&D. And thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome. We're playing D&D. We just had this encounter. We'll put the close-up camera on there for a second. And with the party successfully vanquishing this infernal iron beast, banishing the forge foe back to its original plane, and slaying the devil, all of you now find yourselves out of initiative and in this factory floor.
Billy is going to continue the mission,
Okay.
going around and attempting to disconnect the pod people.
So, Billy, now that you have made a check and you know what you're doing, you apply steady pressure, you pull these out, and the quote-unquote pod people begin to kind of emerge. You can see the human kind of stagger out and just, do my next, please. And they, like, hold their arm out, and one by one, you disconnect these people with no issue. They look, as a group, just haggard, many of them in various states of either starvation or dehydration. It's kind of hard to tell, maybe both. Everybody is poisoned, save Araway, who is now kind of like making their way up towards the portal, but turning and seeing the sort of action die down will hesitate for a little bit. What are you all doing?
I
Bring
think
the door open.
I think we will see the headless Lorimar and like kind of like hesitate on it, and then return our focus to the people who are still alive, and go get herself into the middle of like where the group is as a whole, or like all the people who have been released from that area, and then switch back to chalice form once her feet touch the ground so she doesn't fall and die, and cast mass cure wounds
Okay.
and basically target as many people as she can. So she can target 6 creatures on a 30-foot radius sphere centered. So I'll try to center myself as best I can to hit all the people who are poisoned.
Okay.
And then as a bonus, Alina, and if Valis is nearby, Valis, but if he's not close enough, then I'll just do myself.
I don't believe Alice is close enough, unfortunately.
The dragon butt.
So you go ahead, and as you touch down, the last remaining light from your celestial form just vanishes. And as it does, it pops like powder across this entire place, like this celestial starlight that becomes almost like pixie dust. And where it settles on people, there is relief to the different kind of wounds and issues that they have. They're still poisoned.
Yeah. That was a shitty roll. That is.
You all get 1 health.
So a total of 10 healing with that. And then how are you doing? Okay. I will.
Not good.
So I will.
Not as bad as you, though.
I'm actually doing about the same, so I'll probably heal you because I think you're doing a little worse than I am. So,
So while Minka works healing magic down on this kind of cluster, Billy, can you make a just a general charisma check?
oh, sorry, it's 15 points of healing.
For me?
No, plus 15. Like the 10 was
Billy.
actually 15.
Billy, could I get a charisma check flat?
Sorry, I was busy trying to figure out
No
the
worries.
wheel woe situation over there. Charisma saving throw or
No, flat check.
just a flat charisma check?
Yes.
14.
14. Okay. You pop the various accoutrements out from the people who are all attached to these tubes. And as you do, you can see people look at you with gratitude in their eyes. You've definitely won some level of thanks from these people. Not a tremendous amount. Nobody is rushing and calling you a savior, but it is not often that you find yourselves in situations like this and have people looking at you with gratitude. It's kind of uncomfortable. But what is everybody else doing?
I loot the devil.
Make an investigation check.
Ooh. Investigation.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay, with the dirty 20, you investigate this depth. Let me close my Foundry real quick here. Okay. So, looking through this devil, there's very little in the elements of clothing that they have. They wear like rags, really just kind of cloth. And as you are pulling it apart, bits of their flesh are kind of like melting away and becoming almost like liquid. And you get the sense that this physical form for this devil is probably something that's relatively temporary. And while it may make a religion check.
15.
And you get the sense that devils, when you kill them, it's, depending on how you do it, not always permanent. It's probably permanent for most mortals' lifetimes. This devil will not be coming back anytime soon.
Okay.
But it doesn't really carry a lot of physical accoutrements to it. Though as the flesh melts and falls off the bone, there is a little ting, 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 ting on the ground. And in the wrist, between the radius and the ulna, there had been a little iron key that had been wedged into the flesh. And it falls now free and away, and you can pick it up. And you can add an iron key.
We definitely did see a padlock before. Can I go next?
Yeah.
So Alina is going to, so seeing Minka kind of turn away from Lormar, Alina's gonna be like, God, this is so horrible for Minka. Like, they killed Lormar before she could rescue him. Like, I can't imagine what that must be like. So, but she knows that resurrection spells exist, and in particular, she knows that Minka, as a druid, if we could just find the right components, could probably do something with that. So she's going to go down to Lormar's body and maybe take like a blanket out of her bedroll, something like that, and just start kind of bundling it up.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
But while she does that, if nobody's watching, she is going to snag like a finger or a toe or something and just pocket that
Make a sleight of hand check.
for later.
Is that a hand to desecrate corpse?
Sleight of hand to make the hand later.
That's a natural one. For a total of 3.
I think I'm the only one there, for what it's worth, in that area.
So Val, as you turn around, and then, so like for you, Alina, you look back. Nobody's looking. You look right. Yeah. Valis is currently like focused over on Minka. You turn and look down, and in the same exact motion as you turn and you look down at the corpse, Valis turns and looks over at you and watches as you just rip this finger off this corpse. And like you kind of rip it away, and you're like, "Wow, that was easy." And you're like putting it back together to see how easy it was. So Valis, you watch is like it's just very clear. It couldn't be more clear who ripped the finger off this corpse.
She's trying to practice that one spell that Javaris was talking about.
Yeah, you can see as you are wrapping them up, they have jet black hair that's braided into these long knots that go down their face, though.
No, sir, he does not have a head.
That's true. You can see scraps of the beard that's still attached to the neck in places. You would note that there are a number of sort of dwarvish style tattoos that are across the skin and the arms and upper chest. And you note a number of different, like, it looks almost like a tattoo of a chain, and each link bears a different name to it. But yeah, that's what you notice.
Do I catch Valis catching me?
No. With that roll, no, not at all.
Shit.
You got away clean.
So she's going to pocket that because she intends to send the body, like, home with, what's her name? The survivor? Arwe. But she's also like, but maybe we'll come across the components first, and so wouldn't it be nice to just be able to
Yeah, for sure.
cook him up a new body right then and there?
Yeah. Cook them up a new body.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
If possible, Billy saw the vision of him making a sword. Billy wants to go look at the sword.
Okay, you go over. You look around. No perception check needed. The stone has like displaced a lot of elements of this, and you can see the sword such that it is not really a sword. It has the same shape and certainly function as one, but this was meant to be an infernal iron tongue for this beast, designed to kind of lash out. And you can see a place where, though this would be like a great sword to a giant, it would have a chain link attached to it that would allow it to like projectile fire this gigantic blade and then retract it back. That seemed to be what they were working on, not like a blade that you would be able to heft and hold.
Fire. pocket-sized amounts of infernal iron laying around?
Make an investigation check.
Gonna go with no. It's a 9.
A lot of rock.
You gotta refine it, right?
You can add 1 rock to your inventory.
Sweet. She'll consult with Minka later, maybe.
Yeah. Anything else?
Did we get him?
I think at this point, Minka is kind of just like sunk to the ground. Not really say anything. And about this point, she'd probably let her concentration on the rock wall lapse.
Okay.
So,
There is a as the entire thing just crumbles down. The metallic creature and then collapses off the ledge as the stone wall was all that was really keeping it up. It had wedged itself against it. And so there is a thud and a crack, and the entire chamber just reverberates. And you do feel all around you the structure just swing ever so slightly on the great chain. But that happens. There is a shriek from some of the people who are in here, but as the dust kind of settles, people regain their calm.
So that's a no, huh?
I want to put my
Guys,
hand
we
up.
had one job! We made that whole big speech and we didn't get the guy?
They killed him when they saw us come in. They must have known. And Alina's got the body all bundled up, and she's gonna maybe just bring it down to some area where there's enough space to start drawing the teleportation circle.
So you begin to start drawing the circle.
Yeah, but she's not gonna pull the trigger on it yet. She's gonna start drawing it.
Yeah, so you're going to get it like most of the way there and then have that one piece that you need.
Correct.
For you, Billy, the person that you had first rescued from these tubes speaks up at this, especially as Cheshire begins to yell out, and they say, "I'm sorry, who are all of you? You're not like the ones I saw in my dreams."
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You dreamed about us? Well, no, you just said you didn't. What kind of dreams do you have? Draw.
I've got all kinds of dreams. I dream about eyes mostly. Eyes like hers, and points towards Billy. But I must have been wrong. Who are you?
We are the Wandering Hearts.
We're here to help.
I wouldn't have taken credit for this.
We were sent here to save who we could from the Enclave.
And at that, you can see Arway like turns around, and he nods and he looks across the room at Arway and says, "You were right." And Arway kind of turns and nods. Minka, are you doing anything at this?
Minka's just kind of like staring off into the middle distance. Not really responding very well to people at the moment. She's just kind of sitting on the floor,
Okay.
just looking.
I want to go put a hand on Minka's shoulder and say, "Hey, is it possible for us to bring him back?"
Well, at least it wasn't friendly fire, right?
Alina's gonna be like, I really think Minka could use some comfort.
I know he's really important to you.
Why?
Can you bring him back to life?
She's sad.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't think he would necessarily come back if I did it. I killed him.
You didn't mean to.
Did she, though? I mean, Minka the Malicious strikes again.
Maybe now's not the time.
Really? But it seemed like it. Did I screw that up?
Do you want to try?
I screwed it up.
Maybe.
I can't. He doesn't have a head.
I know there are spells that
Yeah,
can work with that.
true. But they still have to want to come back. And they have to want to come back by the person who's asking.
If we bring him back to the Enclave, is there anyone there that can bring him back?
Oh. Oh. I don't Maybe. I don't know at this point. So many are gone.
Roll an intelligence check. A flat intelligence check.
Natural 1.
Not a goddamn
Like, can I help? By just yelling at her, get it together, Mika!
roll a disadvantage. Unless you can roll a natural 0, it can't get much worse than that. You really don't have any idea who might be able to do this. There are newer members that you are not as familiar with. I don't think you were super familiar with Cassidy, with Jarka Hometaker. You didn't really know Askerthon before he died. Maserat and Minus were both miners and not really magic types. Mm-hmm. You don't know.
No.
At the very least, you can bring him home to be buried at home. I'm sorry.
Billy,
What?
why is everybody sad?
That guy was really important to the Enclave. Like, apparently he was a really good guy.
The first guy
Helped a lot of people.
that you freed edges up to your conversation, Billy and Cheshire, and just says, yeah, and also this is just a prison. It's sort of a sad place. Can we go?
That makes more sense.
Has a minute passed?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Are you-
Alina is putting the finishing touches on the teleportation circle, and she says, I can send you all home.
People
And-
begin to like gather up at
Yeah, yeah.
this.
Wait,
I can
do
send...
any of you know how to get to the Enclave from the magic circle nearby? I asked the group.
From a magic circle nearby.
The teleportation. You mean the teleportation circle?
Yes, thank you.
Gotcha.
Because we're not going with them, right? So we don't want to just have them send them and be like, where the hell did they just send us?
Good call.
You can see holding up one of these glowing stones is Arway, who says, I can get us there from the stone circle. The one across the street.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are all of you from the Enclave?
You can see people turn their heads, and Arway nods yes. Lormar doesn't nod.
He does not nod.
Everybody else shakes their head no.
Well, where are you all from?
You could see the ogre holds up their hand, and everybody just hushes. And the ogre goes, I'm from home. And he kind of nods. You can see the human goes, very good. That was very good, Maggles. We're from all over. The Duergar, they point to the two corpses that are like amongst the rubble. We're from a place called Darkholm, which I've never heard of before. The other Duergar was from a place called Rotwin, and then your friend over there, and they point towards Arwen, is the only one really from the Enclave.
Do I know where any of those places are, like relative to
Make a
the
history
Emerald
check.
Spire, for example? 16.
Never heard of them.
Okay. I go, where's that compared to the Emerald Spire? Just ask.
You can see people turn and look, and at this, Araway speaks up and says, oh, none of those places are terribly close. Those are very far away. Those are across the Dark Salt Expanse. They won't be getting home immediately from the Enclave, but we have space for everybody.
Well, it's much safer there than it is here. And you can rest and recover there. And then to Arway, Alina's going to say, we'll entrust Lormar's body to you. Resurrect him if you can, and if not, lay him to rest.
She turns and says, Minka, are you coming with us?
No. Not now.
But you must. Your mom will be so happy to see you.
I saw her briefly before coming here. We have a lot of unfinished business here.
But the Enclave still stands.
It does.
Good.
At least when we left.
The well is still draining.
The well's draining.
Yes. So
dear.
that's yeah. So I was also we haven't fixed the problem with Minus's mine.
They haven't found Minus yet.
Oh, I believe he is super dead. Judging by the state of the mine.
Well, he had gone missing, but we'd hoped. Is the mine still open?
It's semi-closed. We were hoping to ask Lorimer for help.
Well, that's a good idea. Where is he?
He is so dead.
Literally just talked about
You can
his
see they
body.
like turned and like they were off like over in the direction of the portal and had to kind of walk back to join the conversation. But they turn and kind of see just like the body headless up on the kind of top of the stone.
I wrapped him up.
Oh yeah, they just see a bloody blanket that is up on the top,
Yeah.
and they just kind of nod and turn. That will make it difficult to get back in then.
Right.
You mean because of the password?
What password?
Oh, don't worry. We know the password, and then she says it. Hannah doesn't remember, but Alina definitely does.
So you name the dragon.
Are they sending the other ones?
We actually don't.
The dead ones. Yeah. They're sending one. Why aren't they sending the others?
I'm gonna poke Alina to just tell just one person in Dragon.
everybody.
Don't say it to everyone.
So why are we leaving people behind?
Just tell Arwen.
Oh no, the brain.
Does he get her in time?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Alina's like, right, and then she's gonna whisper it. Don't tell anybody.
That makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
At this point, Minka's gonna kind of like try to stand up and like dust herself off and go grab the hammer.
Okay.
All that's left over there.
Billy starts piling bodies onto the circle.
Cool.
You go and you grab the hammer. This is the hammer that Lormar used. This is a hammer that you're familiar with. This is one that Lormar brought from their original home. This is something that they took from their ancestral home and something that means a lot to them. Beyond that, as you hold it now for the first time, probably ever, this is something that's pretty guarded. There is a magical quality to it, for sure. There's something elemental to this hammer. But you pick it up. You can add Lormar's Smith hammer to your inventory.
Okay. Okay. So, we're gonna figure out what this is, beyond it being a hammer. We're gonna see if we can do anything about everything else that's happening. Arwe, if you see my mom, tell her I'm sorry. And we need to go, probably. Oh boy.
Why are you sorry?
And she just kind of gestures towards Thormar and then is like, okay. Okay.
Minka, none of us thought we would ever leave. You shouldn't be sorry.
His head exploded.
She turns and looks at the blanket and just
Billy
kind
just
of
kind of
shudders.
like, as she's like piling bodies, like walks past Minka and is like, you don't need to say that.
That's
He made eye contact with me and then it exploded.
Just don't say more. Just don't say more. Less.
There, Minka. And she just kind of walks off like a little shell shocked now, but no problem.
Okay. We need to do something. Send people home or somewhere.
We're gonna.
You ready to say goodbye?
I guess. Oh boy. I'm just gonna kind of like walk over to Lormar's like body and kind of like fiddle with the hammer and be like, I need to borrow this. For now, I think. Oh God. And then just kind of like kind of like go to like tidy the blanket, but realizes it's not gonna do anything. So she kind of like awkwardly like pats the blanket. She doesn't know what to do with her hands. And then just goes, we will do something to make this all worth it. Oh, my mom is gonna be so mad. Oh boy. I'm gonna be so mad. We'll do something. We have to make this worth it.
We will.
Okay. I can't go home right now. We got things to do. There's a giant ooze destroying things and stealing people's memories.
I was about to say, not to be a Debbie Downer to further this party, but is there another way out of this place here that's not the way we came back?
What's wrong with the way we came back?
There's an ooze that is now mad at us.
I mean, the ooze is in one of the rooms that we can just not go. Towers.
Yeah,
we can
but
use the
also
portal to go to a different building.
completely covering the area that got us into the towers. And
It
we have
may
to
not
somehow
be
get-
anymore if we've closed the portal that it used to get through.
Ori's still out
Or he's
there.
in there. Oh no.
At the very least, we need to recover him.
Yeah. We can look through. Okay. So, good point. Is everyone ready to go? Minka.
Yeah.
Okay. Gather around, everybody.
Wait,
Everyone
are
who's-
we going through the circle?
No, I'm gathering.
Okay,
them.
all right.
Everyone who's not us.
Head back. Tell what you can. And you the stones are for throwing.
You could see, still holding them above Arway slowly lowers them and goes, you might not know this, but they work for stealth too. I won't be needing them anymore. Do you need them back?
No. Keep them with you until the magic fades. At the very least, in case there's anything on the road back.
Nods, holds on to these rocks.
In case, I want to like whisper to, what was the bard's name? Arwen?
Arway?
Arway? Alright.
Yeah.
And I just want to whisper Arway. It may not matter, but tell Lot that Lorimer's body has a gentle repose on it.
She leans in and she says, I know what they say about bards, but I'm not that familiar with sexually transmitted infections.
It's a spell, it's not...
Oh, she nods and straightens up a little bit. She turns to you, Minka, and she says, it won't get worse than this, at least. So,
Don't say things like that.
this is just pretty bad.
Yeah. Good news is that, the Enclave still stands. And if nothing else, there's still some people there. So hopefully there'll be enough to weather this, whatever this is. I'm glad you lived our way.
Me too. And she turns and kind of like wanders back, a little shell-shocked still, but makes their way over to the general teleportation circle that Alina has created.
So Alina is going to basically just like explain, like, okay, so if you're going to the Enclave, I'm going to complete the circle, and you're going to have just 6 seconds to go through that portal. So make sure you move fast, and carry those that have been lost with you, so that they can be laid to rest. Everybody ready?
So they like take a second to kind of gather the bodies. The Duragar and the goblins are just left behind. Nobody picks them up, unless there's anything that any of you want to do about them. All right, no worries. Everybody else who is living gathers around your circle, including this ogre. You can see they have the tattoos for the heads that have been like added on, but no actual like psionic surgery. but they're all gathered around.
Bink.
You put
Decided
the final element of the rune
magic
into
word is
place, and you utter the enchanted phrase "bink." And as you do, there is as the runes light up, and this entire teleportation circle ignites, and it's like it yanks the different creatures that are assembled around it one by one through, and they all just reemerge in this other place. And all at once, the circle ceases glowing, and the group that is the Wandering Hearts are all that exist within this space now.
I got a natural 20 to get my spell slot.
There you go.
So what fresh hell are we walking into now?
Alina's gonna kind of go over to Cheshire and just kind of like do that thing where that has been happening a lot lately. Just kind of like turn her away a little bit and be like, hey, Minka really likes you. I know she would really appreciate like a hug. Are you up for that? Okay, cool. She's gonna step back and like let it happen.
Fireball.
Only Cheshire has a certain set of skills.
A particular set of skills.
Let's go get Ori. We can figure out what this hammer does. He guarded it closely, so at the very least it does something. Maybe it can be helpful.
Why don't we get ourselves to a place that's slightly safer, find our way out, find a place to hide, rest, and figure out our next step. I mean,
All right.
we came here to help the Enclave. We've helped them some. We can close the portal to the Hell. The Hells? One of them. Yeah.
And if the Hells is the reason why the water is freezing and the well is draining, then that would help the Enclave and ensure it could still stand.
Okay.
Making your way back to the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walk through the portal.
Sorry, okay.
Valis, you walk through the portal. You can see Ori has their bow drawn. It is pointed towards the portal proper. And you can see for a second the finger just tightens ever so slightly before they just stop doing that. But they turn, and as you step out, Valis, they do say, the portal is just being a bit weird just now. And like points at the portal. But you watch as the rest of your friends walk through.
We catch Ori up.
Okay.
How would you like to catch Ori? Would you like to catch Ori up in a particular way?
I think maybe I would try to start explaining the situation, but it just keeps it's very disjointed and keeps rolling back around to his head exploded. You may notice that it gets a little repetitious and is not very good at, explaining what actually happened.
Alina's gonna make eyes at Cheshire and be like, hug. Yes.
Seems like a weird time. She's upset.
No, this is the perfect time.
People like that.
She's gonna love it, I promise.
I don't get it either, but people like it.
Yeah, she's gonna love it.
Do you like it?
She likes it.
I do. I really do. And I feel like Minka and I are kind of cut from the same cloth on that front. Okay.
Minka is.
Okay, well, I just really think she would like it, but that's okay. Don't do anything you're not comfortable with.
And there.
You feel a very stiff pat on the back from Billy, from 5 feet away, using the full 5 foot reach of Billy.
Alina's gonna kind of roll her eyes and do a
There's a
proper
side
hug. Okay. Proper Alina hug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I go in for the group hug.
Okay.
Okay, so
Now it's too much.
full clinging onto whoever she can get her hands onto.
It's not good with plate.
Just.
So just clank, clank, clank. Everybody just mail together.
Realistically, we did better than I thought we would.
That's
We
the
are
spirit.
alive.
So, I think we should leave here. I guess we could try to go out the way we came, but that doesn't seem like a great idea.
I'd like to rest here.
Right here in this room?
This room is probably the safest of all as it controls where the portal goes. and
Billy
doesn't
looks for
go.
ooze.
Make a perception check. At this, Ori says, Well, but again, the thing that I was saying is the portal's doing something weird. And he points, and at the moment, nothing's happening.
26.
But they have mentioned this twice now. 26? Yes. With the 26, you look around, and you do see strands of ooze connecting many things to each other. It still, every now and then, quivers and indicates that it is alive and not severed. Certainly exists in the space. Still.
No, ooze is still here. We should go.
Wait,
We
Ori,
can go.
what weird thing is the portal doing?
It is just so. It's doing a thing.
Use your big words.
It's flickering.
Flickering is bad. Flickering is bad.
Colors? Flickering like it's gonna go out?
Flickering like a red.
Oh, not good. Okay. All right. Time to go.
Billy, with your perception check, you see for just a second the darkness of the forge portal suddenly just red for a flash of a second.
Yep, leave now.
The way we came?
Should we change the portal? Would that maybe buy us more time?
Nope, we're leaving now.
Let's go.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Back the way we came.
Okay.
At least we know what we're up
Chester
against.
would like to be stealthy about that.
Make a stealth check.
Right, stealth. That's the thing we can do. Well, not all of us.
It's the thing you can all try.
Minka's not stopped clinging onto whoever
Okay.
she could get her
Alina
hands onto.
will do the sort of like, help with the walking.
So
Surprisingly
Cheshire,
strong.
when you hear that you're leaving, that's what you've been waiting for this whole time. You go like as hidden as you can, and you just sneak along the corridors, twisting underneath these little ropes of tendrils of ooze, over these different crates and barrels and things like that.
Question.
Yes.
Did I see where Valis put the key to the arc light?
Oh yeah, I meant to. Let me answer that question. I showed everyone where it was.
Yeah.
Should I fall?
I would like to sleight of hand it into my position as I'm going first.
Okay. Yeah, that beats a passive perception.
That crying is actually what you hear from Valis's pockets as they get emptied.
But you grab the arc light reagent, this cube of almost like prismatic glowing amethyst, and you make your way off in the direction. Everybody following Cheshire?
I rolled a
I tell-
10 for my stealth.
I tell everyone I found an iron key.
You hear
before I
Billy
forget.
stomp off. As Billy stomps down the hallway, clang, clang, clang. Even though Billy's not wearing armor, somehow still clanging. You explain this iron key, and it's small. It's like the kind of key that you would use for like a diary or something like that.
Oh.
Do I remember seeing anything like that the key would go to?
Make a flat intelligence check.
We saw a padlock.
You've seen at least 3 padlocks here.
I mean,
9.
Yeah, okay.
9? Nothing that you could see here.
I'm not gonna stealth. I'm just gonna walk like with Billy. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, look at us
And
go.
for
Look
you,
at our
it would have been
stealth.
at disadvantage because Minka is just clinging to you.
Oh right, I forgot.
So
Yeah,
you're
okay.
kind of dragging Minka along as
Yeah.
well. So the 3 of you, right down the yellow brick road. Cheshire stealths ahead. What about you, Valis?
I'm just walking.
Okay. I would say everybody but Cheshire make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh cool. This again. Is this against a spell?
It is not.
Okay. That's
Billy knows what to look for. That's a natural 20.
You look out for all these things, and Billy, you having been most influenced by this, you point out these small strands, knowing that even the faintest touch could cause this effect. Everybody else can roll at advantage to roll one more time and take the higher of the 2 results. As Billy points out the various strands here and there.
Okay, my second roll is a natural 20.
And
21.
you see, as you pointed out, somebody shifts the light, Minka turns, and the celestial glow that had, like, just the traces that are still around her just reveals that there's dozens of strands directly in front of you you're about to walk into. So you're like, oh, and you just turn and walk around them. But, Alina?
21.
Okay.
24.
Hey.
With the help of Billy, you are able to make your way going underneath these strands of ooze, and nobody impacts this creature as you move along. You make your way to this teleportation circle. You can see one of the 2 statues has fallen over. There's no ooze connecting to it. You can still see it connects to many other things, but nothing animates or attacks. You just see this teleportation circle in the center of the room.
Is the cube in it?
Cheshire, are you waiting for everybody to put the cube in? Okay.
So like,
This is Cheshire, like, at the helicopter. Go, go, go!
run over. Wait, and I'm like, wait, what? What the? Huh?
As soon as the last person's like in place, into the slot.
So you reach into your pockets. You're like, wait, I could have sworn it would have been here. You look into the other one, and then suddenly you just start moving. You just teleport down, and you are on the Arclight pad.
Billy just now believes that Cheshire actually has the bag of holding, and she just puts it back whenever we say we're going into it.
You can see off in the distance. What is your passive perception?
Mine?
Yeah.
Let's see. Passive perception. 14.
14. So all of you, as you teleport down to the bottom of this place, Cheshire activating the arc light, you can see all around you the little bits of crushed amethyst glow with residual power, and you are all on the ground here. There are still little corpses of goblins all around. None of that has changed. Does anybody have a passive above 19?
Rory does.
Mine is straight 19.
19. Okay, so Minka and Billy, the two of you do notice that there is light that is coming off from the direction that you all arrived from. Still a little bit away, but it seems that in the direction of the larger tower, a group has begun to make their way in your direction.
From the larger tower, you mean like the scary castle?
The scary castle.
Okay.
Oops.
I grabbed the cube,
They
unless
probably
you do.
noticed
I
us.
flipped it back to you.
All right.
We weren't subtle.
Very nice.
Wanna nap.
I am not ready for another fight.
We know.
How far away from me? Remember how like we were on the road and there were the little alcoves where we rested? How far away from me are that? Or how, you know.
Yeah, so they're between you and those alcoves for sure. They're probably another like 20 minutes walk away from where they are. So a little bit away. A little bit away.
Behind you.
Okay. We are in ruins essentially right now.
Yeah.
Mika's going to look. Okay. What if we just hide in the ruins? Or go further down?
hide. Can you help us hide? Can you do the thing that helps us?
Yeah. Oh, trapped. I think I only have a fourth level left.
We don't know.
Up. You mean like
Looks like
in
just
this
spiral
direction?
webs, but we don't know.
There's a little alcove there. We can maybe go find it.
That's true. It's been pointed out, I will say it's been pointed out to us many times that goblins drew this map and it might not be like a perfect one-to-one, but you're not wrong.
So we're here, ish. You say we see a light from here, and we see like a kind of like a
It's much closer
party.
than there, but yeah. It's like,
This is like pitchforks and torches kind of thing.
make a perception check.
Oh no.
Now that Billy and Ori certainly has pointed it out.
Natural 20.
Dirty 20.
Zoom. Enhance.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what your elf eyes see. You can see hovering about 10 feet above the ground in front of a host of goblin-like creatures that is probably about 10 to 12 strong. A tall, demonic-looking creature that is much larger than the one that you just slayed. It has wings. It has large black pointed horns that come out of this yellowish skin. It holds a huge two-pronged... It's not called a bident. What is it called?
Trident?
It's a trident, but with two prongs. It has a name. It's a pitchfork. It's just a pitchfork.
Trident.
It's not really a bident.
It's a tuning fork.
I love the idea of a bident. President Biden should absolutely have a presidential bident.
He's called a Biden.
We learned today. You can see carrying a bident is this gigantic fiend that seems to be leading a group in your direction.
I relay that to the party.
Is it the same? Can I see him too with my dirty 20?
With a dirty 20, not quite. You see like a larger shape that is hovering above the rest.
Okay, because we saw a big beastie before.
This seems, if maybe not larger, but it's differently shaped. It's definitely different.
Okay, hear me out. What if we just go down?
Down?
Where? The
Down.
chasm?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't know if I could survive the fall in my state.
What if, okay, good idea. Let's keep workshopping. What if we go to Gongabunga? Because it's like that way.
the party are they currently
So
cutting
they're
us off from
this way.
Gunga Bunker
Right.
on the map?
Yes.
Think ahead.
So they're
So
getting very
we could
close
go
to getting to a point.
this way.
They're
They're about to cut us off.
if you're
They're
going
cutting
to
us
try,
off.
you have a very brief opportunity to maybe be able to run through before they cut you off, but it's closing quick. You would need to kind of start off on a run, and then if you have any chance of stealthing, it would be the thing where, like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where the principal is running through the hallway and then walks and then runs and then walks. You would be running all the way there and then walking to stealth at the very, very end.
North with spider webs?
North
With
has.
spiderwebs.
We would need to
North
cross
has-
the chasm.
We would need to cross the chasm.
No, directly.
Just north.
That,
Here.
That
that
just
north.
has some spider webs, but we don't.
Yeah.
That's we're off map.
But there's that little alcove with spider webs. Better than with Ice Devil.
I'm happy to go north.
Already moving.
North? Okay,
Go
north.
Okay,
Let's
you
go.
begin to move.
Can we fly across the chasm?
Gone.
You're talking as you're like jogging
All right,
along. No problem.
30 for stealth.
Okay. If you want to make a stealth check, make a stealth check.
Are we in a
We'll
wild
slow
place?
you down.
Now are we in a wild place?
You are. Not when you start. No.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. Well, I got a 10.
17.
As soon as it feels wild, I would like to
I'll tell you.
So we run
whip
north
my
and we're
cloak around
hiding.
myself.
All right.
Okay.
9.
Okay. So loudly, you all make your way north, just kind of cling, clang, clanging along. You tumble over elements of broken rubble. You are all exhausted. You are only a couple hours away from being like exhausted. But in addition, you all just went through a bad fight, and that makes it hard to pick through the rubble with any grace. You're not sure if you've attracted attention off in your direction, but the torch and the sort of elements of this party are certainly still moving in your direction. But you make good distance and make your way off, and after 10 minutes, Alina, you sense that you are in a wild space. Make another stealth check.
Thank you.
As you cross that threshold and the broken bits of walls kind of fade behind you, you find yourself in places where old and tattered spiderwebs are still clinging to the walls and ceilings. Though these are not anchored, there's nothing sticky really about them. Dust has accumulated and made them quite visible, and so no new webs have been cast here in some time. But you emerge from the side of the city, and off and to your left, the chasm now grows off, and you can hear the wind blowing from beneath. You can, Billy, you faintly from here, very faint, smell salt or maybe meat, or it smells a little bit like a cooking fire, although from a great distance away. But the wind howls by and that's blown away.
Which way is the wind blowing? Towards us?
Make
or
a survival check. It's blowing southwest.
18.
18. With an 18, the wind is blowing southwest, and that is pulling the smell from within the chasm up from a great distance below.
Is gonna keep that information to herself.
Okay,
Does not want to go deeper.
no worries.
Have we paused for a second?
I was about to say, at the first sign of like a secure-ish nook,
Okay.
Cheshire would dart into it.
So probably about 20 minutes go by before you get to a place where the cobwebs are now growing pretty thick, and they hang in places almost like drapes. But because of that, there are areas that form almost these like little hidden alcoves, not quite tapestries, but they form these little alcoves that are much easier and a little bit more secure feeling. Though anything could just tear through this non-sticky, almost fabric-like material, it breaks the line of sight and makes very kind of obscured little locations. And for you, Cheshire, easy enough to find one that you can fit everybody into pretty comfortably.
Can we long rest here?
Long
Does
rest.
Cheshire show us the spot?
She'd wave as you get close.
Thank you.
How large is the opening?
The opening for this, only about 10 feet wide, 5 feet across.
Okay.
Sorry, 10 feet tall, 5 feet across.
I
It's
could
double wide.
close it off.
But still, like, air, right? Air
I can shape it.
airflow.
Yeah.
Airflow's good. I don't want to be closed off.
You okay with that?
It's already bad enough.
Yeah. Okay. I will not close it off, but Minka's gonna like kind of like assess and look at it.
Yeah. So the whole space on the other side of this little opening is about 30 feet wide. only about maybe like 10 to 15 feet long, and so it's a pretty narrow, pretty tight space. To close this off you'd be in pretty close quarters. Billy, you would need to sleep like laying down pretty flat.
Maybe let's not close it off, but we'll set a watch and you know, if we're in danger of if someone's, you know, gonna come up on us, then we'll kill them. Right?
Yeah.
That's more fun than being closed off.
Yep.
Yep.
You've cut most things that have come after us.
So,
Other idea? Are there any like large stones?
Yeah.
Is there a large stone that could be levitated to better, without closing off, but better disguise?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would say there's not a single one, but you can get 3 or 4 to make kind of like a video game stone mound in front of the door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it won't be completely closed off, but it'll be harder to see.
absolutely.
Okay.
Billy,
So,
you see Minka levitate a stone, and a third of the doorway gone. Another stone comes up and drifts across the space, and there is now enough space that you might be able to wriggle through and escape. And you see Minka lift up another rock.
I thought we agreed we weren't going to do that.
And there's
Mika.
space between them. You know, you can like get your fingers through and stuff. And with one of you being strong enough, you might be able to push them out of the way, but it's very well sealed. I mean, you're not going to be seen.
Alina is going to reach into the bag of holding and pull
wait.
alcohol.
Okay, I can.
There you go.
So I can also stone shape a stone door and a frame.
Yeah.
Can you take anyone into your ring right now?
No, we need to rest before I can do that.
So with after like arranging it, I will
Yeah.
also create a stone door that can be opened.
So you are truly using the poor man's fabricate.
Yes.
You make a pile of rocks, and then you stone shape them into a frame and a doorway. And this probably takes you close to half an hour to do, but no problem, you do so. You crack it a couple different times and have to restart and like tumble it down into components and then build it back up, but eventually you have a functioning door. And Billy, some of the fear taken away by the sheer absurdity of this process. But by the end of it,
Stone wall, but door.
yeah, it's just kind of a swinging stone wall.
Sure. This is like a house.
Some of the anxiety is gone just because Billy doesn't know how to feel.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, it is visually blocked, but we can easily get in and out.
I start trancing. I'm so tired.
Eyes open.
So I guess we're long resting then. I'll take first watch, and she starts. What is this? Summoning rest.
Yeah, no problem.
The cha-cha slide.
Yeah,
You have to clear a little space for this, and so it's even more cramped for everybody else, but you definitely begin to make this circle.
Sorry.
Is there anything else people are doing before this long rest?
I will try to attune to the hammer.
Okay.
You have to identify it first.
Porque no los dos.
I could. But unless anyone mentions it to Minka, she's not gonna think about it. What are the chances this is a cursed hammer?
It's cursed. Now you can't read.
So you spend some time considering this hammer, holding on to it, and considering the events of the day. And as you spend the first hour doing this, you get the sense that there is this is not to call you classless, but there is a missing component to you that allows you to not attune to this. You get the sense that, surprisingly enough, you might need to be a wizard to be able to use this item.
Minka's gonna like think about that and look upon all of our group and be like, shit. And then since Alina's still awake, she's like, well, we can't use this.
What do you mean?
I think we need to have a more arcane study of magic, which I don't think any of us have.
Okay. So you found out like what it does, right? Its properties.
Do I know anything about it outside of I can't use this?
So I believe that all you're able to get from it is the fact that you're not able to attune to it. You're not. You could still use Identify to learn more about it, but you don't get the immediate knowledge that attunement would bring.
Yeah.
So,
And Alina's like, hands it back and is like, why don't you study it for a little longer?
I don't think I can.
You could make an Arcana check.
She can't cuddle with it to identify it? Spend an hour.
Spend another hour to identify it if you want. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll do that.
That's a Hannah.
The next hour goes by.
I know so much more about you.
And you consider not just the hammer itself and whether you can become attuned to it, but really what it is. And this hammer, you get a sense that this comes from one of the original dwarven coals. This was probably forged in one of the fires that rages so hot at the heart of these places that it's almost impossible to replicate elsewhere. You've heard, I would say Minka especially, being from the Enclave and having a good deal of people who come from the Underdark, you would know that there has been other fires like this established in the continent of Dominion. In fact, there was one created, although lost to time, and then recently refound not 10 years ago. But this is something that, by its very nature, is immutable. It's not something that can be changed from this form again. And you get the sense that, as a result of that, it probably has some innate ability to change the sort of damage that items do, especially when they're elemental in nature.
So super not for us.
This is really something that is designed for a magical smith.
Yeah. All right. So after all that, Minka's just gonna be like, well,
Well, why don't you hang on to it?
I don't think I should keep it on my person, considering that the last time generally when I hold on to things, they either get stolen from me, melted, or burned.
Right. Okay. Bag of holding.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep it safe. Zip.
Well, we know at least one magical kind of smith. So maybe someone will be able to use this. Oh,
We
boy.
do. Who do we know who's a magical smith?
Warren.
Oh yeah. I was like, don't you dare bring Gunter into this. Yeah, I'm sure that it will bring us luck.
Make a history check. Okay.
oh great. I'm so good at all these intelligence-based rolls. I believe that is a 12.
With a 12, it's dwarven made.
No.
But that is mostly what you would learn. You do get the sense that you would need a more specific individual to utilize the functions of this.
Is Raz back?
After the first hour goes by, Rez appears.
Hey,
the
buddy.
little bits of ash kind of crumbling into cinders, and Rez just, oh, hey.
Hey.
Oh, it's always worse.
Yeah. You don't even know the half of it though. And then telepathically, she tells him the whole story of what just went down. And
goes-
she's like, just leave Minka alone,
Oh,
okay?
I'm so glad you said something. I was
Yeah,
about to ask if he was okay.
No. We're just gonna let that lie.
Yeah. So you have Rez back. Anybody else doing anything for this long rest?
Attempting to sleep.
Okay. Alina, can you make a perception check?
14.
14. First watch goes by without issue. Valis, you can mark off a long rest. The second watch, who is taking it? Presumably Valis.
Yeah.
Okay. Valis, make a perception check.
Is Ori's just trancing for like 8 hours.
First tired.
So tired.
Oh no.
I'm just like asleep. That's weird.
He doesn't usually sleep. I didn't think he could.
9.
9. Or just drank so much.
Yeah.
9. With a 9, during the second wave of this, there is, you feel, Valis, such peace in this place. that you really don't need to be that on guard.
God.
Why don't we have 2 people on watch?
And you're proven correct. Nothing bad happens. The watch passes without issue. All of you can mark off a long rest.
At any point does Cheshire not sleep?
Nope.
Okay.
As your sleeps on the 8-hour mark, like 7 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, 8 hours, ding, eyes open. Like, very, very awake.
Got a hell of an internal clock.
But no problem. That is, you can all mark off a long rest, and you stave off exhaustion for another day.
Stave it off. 1, 2, 3.
When the sun rises, you do not see it, but it is the 5th of high sun.
Can you remind me when the funeral for Lord battle the
The
bard
10th
thing?
of high sun.
Okay.
So all of you,
Thank you.
it's drawing closer. All of you wake up. Many of you feeling a lot better than you did when you went to sleep. But you are still within this cave, and though there is a stone door, and that does make it somewhat more civil, you are still very much out in the wilds of the Underdark. What are you all doing now?
Okay, let's make a plan. We have a portal to the Hells to close. We're pretty sure it's in that middle building. You know, the middle, and she points to the map. This one.
Kurtanka.
Pretty
Scary
sure,
castle.
or like definitely sure.
Didn't Rez, like, say that that's where it was at some point? Rez, it's here, right?
I'm like definitely pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you say that out loud, or is it just in Alina's head?
He responds to you in kind, so.
He's definitely sure.
Insight?
He's invisible, but he's like holding up a thumb to you.
It's actually not bad. 19.
You get the sense that Rez is as sure as he ever is.
Delightful.
So, I mean, what are our options? Guns blazing? That usually works pretty well for us.
Well, considering it seems to be the only thing we know how to do.
That's why we're talking about it.
Okay. Well, we know it is most likely over a volcanic pocket. Would that information help us at all?
We also know we can't go the way we were headed.
Why not?
Guarded by a giant thing that sees invisible things. The weird stitched creature.
The scorpion creature in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like around here. When we like crossed this way, did it look like there were other entrances to the castle?
You didn't see any, but you did see, like, in the Underdark, this cavernous space, so there's certainly other places that you could go. One of you has mentioned cobalt tunnels. That's another way that you might be able to get in. There's options.
We
For
could
the
just,
record, I am anti the front door.
yeah, we could just.
Since
Fly.
that seems to be stated.
I mean, there
Great.
definitely
If you
have
can
to be
fly.
more ways in.
Love
Right?
it.
She can fly.
I think half of us can fly.
Oh, yeah.
I think half of us can fly, right?
I mean, if it's just a question of flying, we've got my ring back, and, you know, Rez can carry it, but if anything that can see invisible creatures will be able to see him, but if it's just a question of flying somewhere, we can all travel in style.
What about Grungabunga?
I actually think that's a pretty good idea. Anybody?
go to Grungabunga? What would be the...
In your head, Rez says to you, yeah, no, the goblin lady said we could overthrow the chief, and then you could have like a whole army of goblins.
Why don't you just speak out loud, bud?
Hey, guys! And suddenly Rez just appears, and he goes, where's the goblin lady? I got a good idea.
Dead.
Oh.
Oh, you're not here for that. I'm sorry.
Hey, everyone.
I think Grungabunga, like, we know that, like, they're not our allies. I mean, we can definitely see if they can at least, you know...
Yeah, but if they send up an alarm before we can convince them that we're on their side.
The front door might be the long shot of a century, but Grunga Bunga sounds like an even longer shot than that.
I mean, nobody convinces like you do, right?
Do you speak?
Goblin? No.
Well,
Do I have something for that?
I mean, again, we need to use the front door. We could just fly around that valley where that guard was, right?
it was kind of like a lava tube, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty enclosed.
Seemed well defended. So if there's a back door, we don't know where it is.
Okay. Well, looking at this map, there's this strange pattern. We could try to see if that's anything we can do anything with.
What if, I mean,
So in my experience in breaking into places, you don't want to go in through either door. You want to go in somewhere unexpected.
True. The
Having been on more of the persuasive buying and selling of things side, please elaborate.
Well, doors are usually guarded and
Yes.
or locked. And so, say it's a house, granted, yes, it's a fortress. Bear with me. Go in through a window.
did we see, were there windows?
Like I said, fortress, I'm not real sure.
Okay.
But
I mean, I think you're right. But
we have the ability, in some cases, to make windows. She looks at Mika.
True. One moment. Megan's gonna turn around, look at the door, and just like open the door crack and just like peek outside.
Okay. You just peek out and make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Where were these earlier?
Great question.
You see just like a set designer painting the rocks.
29.
With a natural 20, you don't see anything. There is no sign of animals passing through this place. This is a relatively abandoned space. And so you get the sense that nobody has physically passed by. There's something in the air that lingers that feels as if maybe a more magical means of tracking had passed by in this direction, but did not seem to see you as either. Or if it did, whatever caused it has not followed up, at least not yet. But you don't get the sense that anything has moved through here recently.
Okay. Megan's a little closer. Okay. Sorry. We hadn't looked outside yet, and I just had this really horrible vision of us just opening the door to a bunch of things just waiting for us out there.
Are there a bunch of things waiting out there?
No,
That's
something
good.
came through for sure. Probably.
Means we're already too late staying here. We need to make a plan and go.
okay.
I like Cheshire's plan.
I also like Cheshire's plan. The question is, where do we approach from?
Well, we know that there are lava tubes, which means that there's at least some level of volcanic activity in the area, which means that there are going to be more lava tubes. Lava tubes generally tend to be a little unpredictable in the sense of how they're laid out, and there's also cobalt tunnels. We might be able to find like a cross-section of cobalt tunnels and lava tubes to sneak into that haven't been collapsed yet.
Ooh, could you imagine Kobold and Goblin army? We should introduce them to the Lord.
Really just thinks about cobalt tunnels and how unappealing all of this is.
Real smaller kobolds.
The Lord.
I mean, we could. Okay, so that's an option. We could loop around. I mean, we could loop around through Grunga Bunga just to get to the sort of the back of the building. You know that like language speaking spell I have. I could cast it on you, Cheshire. Like if you want to use that magic tongue of yours. But I mean, that's one option. They might also have, if we can convince them to help us, they might know things that we don't know about the building.
True. So, just a thought. The tunnel that we just came through, where the prison is, we know-ish that if we drop one of those into the ground, it'll probably set off some kind of massive seismic event. So that's always something. I don't know what we'd use it for, outside of maybe a distraction. Or it might upset things enough in the area to open up another avenue, if we live.
Was the fortress hanging from things, or just
The fortress
No.
wasn't.
No,
the
a prison.
prison structures are.
The prison is, but not the big.
But
Correct.
in theory, if there's one giant lava pocket, they're probably connected in some way.
Okay.
I don't know if we can
all-
use that for anything.
Good.
You can use it for all sorts of
Workshopping. Okay, well, let's decide a direction to go and go. Because
So we have into the deep dark. We could still try to talk to the spiders, see if they know anything. We could talk to the goblins, see if they know anything. Or we can kind of just walk around the fortress and see if we find a weak point.
Alina, in the back of your mind, you hear, Alina, there might be another option. I don't say this out loud yet,
okay, go on.
but Chester got me thinking, and she makes kind of a good point. You shouldn't go through the doors.
Yeah.
Really, the windows aren't that much better. But if there's a portal to the hells, what if we went in that way?
Like in from the hells?
Yeah. They wouldn't expect that.
They definitely would not expect that. How would we get into the hells in the first place, and how would we know how to get close to the portal?
Yeah, so that's kind of the problem, right? So, like, to get into the hells, we would probably need, like, a sacrifice or something. And you said on the map there was some kind of, like, signs and symbols.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's some way that we could go.
I would like to say this out loud to the group. Is that okay with you? Wait, sacrifice. What do you mean sacrifice? I'm not killing any of my buddies.
No, I wasn't going to say any of these people, except, I mean,
No.
Ori, like...
No.
All right, well, you know, there's all those goblins in the Grongaponga, and you said we should go there anyways, and maybe if they don't want to help, they can help anyways. Goblins are bad.
Yeah, like, I know, but I always get in trouble when I say that, so...
Well, that's why we don't say it, we just sacrifice them.
Okay. Okay, let's imagine for a second
Okay.
that we were to do it that way.
Yeah.
Do you know actually how to get to the hells?
I mean, yeah, it's not that hard. It's really more a matter of, like, what we do when we get there, right? Because, like, the way that I would do it, it's a little unpredictable.
Okay. I would like to talk to the group now about this. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, but maybe, like, don't mention it was my idea. I feel like they won't like that.
Okay, cool. And Alina's gonna kind of turn to the group and be like, okay, something just occurred to me. And then she's going to sort of okay, we know there's a portal to hell in the fortress. We know there's, like, runes and stuff over here. She points to the map. And we know, based on, you know, things that, like, Roz has told me before, that, like, Hannah doesn't remember, but, like, several sessions ago, Rez kind of, like, shared that maybe that was right. So, like, and remember what Rez said about this, that, like, maybe something's coming through the hells from there. So, I mean, maybe we could try that.
So it was literal when I said what fresh new hell we were going into.
I mean, it's just an idea.
Do we know how to even turn on the portal?
Yeah, Rez could probably talk us through it.
You
Insight.
I was gonna say, can Billy make an insight
Yeah,
on
sure,
that?
go for it.
Didn't you say
Does
before?
Billy get advantage because it's Alina?
Yeah,
21.
21. I mean, Alina's definitely not lying.
He can probably talk us through
In
it.
fact, Alina seems almost overly confident of that, if anything.
Billy rolled a 12. Billy's just in a dark space and just wants to leave it.
Didn't you say before that portals were, like, they were sacrificing people to open the portal? Would we need to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Bingo bongo. If I read somebody right over there.
Look, okay, yes, it probably, like, that's why it's just an idea, right? But obviously not any of us. Like, there's plenty of enemies down here.
Is there any way to
It
tell
doesn't feel right to me.
where the portal here is connected to the hells? Do we know which hell?
I mean... Okay, Rez, Come on, like, come out and answer some of these questions.
He appears and goes, well, I mean, I'm just a little guy. But I mean, in my experience, if we're probably talking about important pieces of things, a lot of times if you have still living flesh, you seal it within flagathos because it's just, liquid filth, liquid hot filth, really. And that, you bathe in people in it, they scream, and it's a great time. My guess would be probably there.
So I guess the question was, the mine that was Heli.
Yeah.
Could that be connected to if that's connected to Stygia, right?
Oh, yeah, could be.
Is the portal, could we get to there through Stygia?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you could get from Stygia to the Enclave, you go from the Enclave to here. I mean, all those things, I guess, technically, yeah.
Wait, so if we went back to the Enclave, we could go through... Is that what you're saying? Like, go through Minus's mine?
If that's already has an open portal to hell that we have to close anyway.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that it's a portal to hell. There's other options. I kind of thought that's where the devil was, but if he's in that castle, then maybe there's something else there. And if it's not a devil and it still smells kind of helly, that really only leaves one thing. I would maybe leave that sealed.
Okay.
That's the far better story. The devil's not actually in the castle.
The devil's in another castle. I don't know much about the hells, but I mean, we know the castle is over there, and if you're suggesting that we go back to the mine to go through what could be a portal and then have to traverse through the hells, which we've never been, to find this specific portal in the castle, that seems a lot harder than going over there to the castle.
Right. It does.
And
I just know last time we were in, like, the Shadowfell and we've been to the Feywild, things don't always line up one-to-one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were only able to get out of the Shadowfell because...
Hirsim helped us.
Yeah.
Oh, we could find some help in the hells, no problem.
Telepathically to Rez, she's going to be like, listen, I don't necessarily want to say this exact thing in front of the group, but I don't know if this is a good plan.
Okay.
People are making some pretty good points here. So I'm not going to push this plan.
That's okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm still going to take you to the hells. It's a good point, but it's going to be hard to get from one place to the next, right?
Yeah, but that's why they would never expect it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about that. And then to the group, she's going to be like,
All
okay,
right,
well...
So this is a castle. I think we should pick a direction we should come from and sneak to that direction. And any direction is good to me, so I will refer to all of y'all for that.
Break-in expert. What looks best to you?
Yeah, I'll defer.
As much as I hate to say it, probably through the goblin camp.
To the goblin camp we go. I start marching off.
Okay. You start marching off, and in your head, telepathically, Rez says, I mean, we're gonna be right there.
No, we're going to walk right by it. Okay, so, it's still on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
You march your way over towards perhaps some more nefarious deeds, although we will see. But because it is 10:20, this is where we're going to end for the evening. As all of you march off north into the Underdark, and in search of a perhaps more circuitous route towards the castle. But thank you for joining us for this session of D&D. We'll be back next week. If you can't wait that long, you just kind of have to, but you can... I always start saying it, and I realize I haven't done anything to, fix the sentence in my head. We re-air this on Sunday. You can see that. But if not, please stay safe. It's crazy out there. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.